You're watching Big 12 Now on ESPN+. It is a picture-perfect October Saturday, and two teams each coming off a monster win a week ago. They square off at Bill Snyder Family Stadium in Manhattan as the Kansas State Wildcats host the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Each team took down a ranked opponent last Saturday. Trey Wolf's field goal in overtime causes a field storming at the Jones as Tech beat the Horns in Lubbock for the first time since 2008. And for K-State, Adrian Martinez rediscovered his downfield passing game. He tossed for a TD pass. He rushed for 4 scores as K-State wins at 41-34. At number 6 OU, the Cats have won 3 of the last 4 against the Sooners. We are ready to go on an October Saturday. Great to have you with us. We got Shane Sparks down on the field. That's Washington State Hall of Fame quarterback Ryan Leaf. I'm Mark Neely. That was just the first game of conference season last week. Emotional win for each of these teams, Ryan. How do they move forward and process what happened last week?
Well, they took it all in, right? Yeah. They come out of that as SEC killers, essentially, and they walk into this game refocused on what's at hand. They have a real chance, just like we saw a year ago with Oklahoma State and Baylor, not of the 2 teams that they beat a week ago. As for this team, the Texas Tech Red Raiders, as well as the Kansas State Wildcats, it's going to be about defense. How they figure out how to stop these high-powered offenses and ultimately find a way to win.
It's going to be an interesting matchup, especially for a Texas Tech team where offenses kind of ruled the day for a lot of years. They're really focusing on their defense this year. Chris Kleiman, K-State. Last week, they won the toss and took the ball because they wanted Adrian Martinez on the field right out of the chute, and it worked out well. They won the toss again today, and they will do the same thing. They will receive and get Adrian Martinez and that K-State offense on the field first. Joey McGuire, what a win last week for the first season head coach of the Red Raiders. Another sellout for Bill Snyder Family Stadium, and here we go on a Saturday from Manhattan. And it's going to come out to the 25. It was interesting to hear Coach Kleiman tell us that yesterday, Ryan. Hey, we win the toss. We want the ball again, which analytically you want to defer, but it worked out last week for
It
him.
worked out well. They found that Adrian responds to getting hit early, as did I. Coach would always call some sort of draw play or a way for me to get in the feel of the game. They want to do the same. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a designated run for Adrian Martinez to start this ball game.
Here's the season numbers. Last week, 21 of 34, 234 yards, a touchdown, no picks, 148 rushing yards, which included a big 55-yard long run late in the game that helped ice it for the Wildcats in Norman. Come out with 3 receivers up top, and of course, Deuce Vaughn in the backfield. Martinez, a run on the first play of the game. He breaks a tackle and another. He's to midfield. Martinez down the sideline. He's out of bounds inside the 30, and there it is, Ryan, right out of the gate, a big run.
Well, something to get your lather going. Adrian Martinez here, designated quarterback run. I doubt he even had a choice on whether or not to give that ball to Deuce Vaughn. Great blocking up front, sets up a huge hole, and his speed does the rest.
Well, they didn't mark him out until the 18-yard line. I mentioned that 55-yard run last week. That's a 57-yard run to begin the game for K-State. Martinez steps up. He's got another hole inside the 10. 5, diving towards the pylon. Touchdown. 2 plays, and K-State marches down the field. An 18-yard touchdown run for Martinez.
This wasn't a designated run. He had 18 of those a week ago. That was a straight drop back and utilizing his scramble lanes. Cade Warner, outside wide receiver here, he gets the block right near the goal line that lets him pop through and get the 6.
Well, we were expecting Adrian to run a little bit on the first drive. I don't know if we were waiting for that to happen, but boy. 2 runs for 75 yards, 40 seconds off the clock. Guess he's picking up where he left off, huh?
Right where he left off. And there's something to be said for, hey, this is the way the season's going to be. This is who we're going to be. This is what our identity is going to be offensively. And if we get the best out of you, Adrian, by doing this type of this scheme, then we're going to go forward and do it.
A replay official, Jeff Hansen, they're taking a look at the score. That's the hold up there. Confirm it. So now they'll let the extra point attempt for Chris Tennant. Well, last week, Texas Tech on the first drive of the game allowed a 3-play touchdown drive to Texas. This time, a 2-play touchdown drive by K-State.
All right, as you can see here, it is a wide and spread out formation, 3 into the boundary. He just sets up. I thought he may look for that crosser over the middle, but he sees an open lane and just takes off. Great job by Cade Warner to get that block. He gets one guy to beat, looking right the whole way, and then he sees that gaping hole right there to step up in. Cade Warner, watch again, pushes him out, allows for the touchdown. I don't know what they were quite looking at in terms of that score. That was clearly a touchdown run by Adrian Martinez. Great job. Colin Klein, play calling, knowing his player, what they need to be successful, and what an opening drive for the Wildcats here in Manhattan.
4 rushing touchdowns last week for Martinez of 1, 3, 6, and 15 yards. He has an 18-yard TD to start today. His 7th rushing touchdown of the season, which leads the Wildcats.
Is there college football, fantasy football? There has to be, right? Adrian Martinez has got to be your go-to guy scoring touchdowns like that.
Zentner's kick is returnable from the 6. This is Xavier White. Xavier White, a nice return across the 40 before he's pushed out by the kicker, Zentner. So a 36-yard return for Xavier White gives very good starting field position for Tech on their first possession, which leads us to the story of the other quarterback, Donovan Smith, who the 2 prior games before Texas had been picked 5 times. No turnovers last week, and what a game.
Yeah, that final year that we made that run to the Roses, there's in games 2 and 3, I threw 2 interceptions and 3 interceptions, so 5 through 9 total on the year. So it's about a refocus, right? It's his chance. And last week against Texas, Coach Joey McGuire challenged him, and he answered.
Come out with 5 wides, empty in the backfield. Smith, quick throw, and it's caught by Sparkman. Hayes makes the tackle. I'll tell you what, the safety Cheatham came up and he almost broke that up or got a hand on it, maybe have gone the other way.
Yeah, and the placement by Donovan Smith there, right on the outside shoulder, allowed him to rip away from that safety and pick up a few more yards to set up a short 2nd down.
And 2nd down and 1. Smith going to hand it off. Thompson. So Roderick Thompson will have the first down to the 48 of K-State, met there by linebacker Austin Moore.
Every time you say his name, the audience out there is going to think he's royalty for some reason. Sir Roderick Thompson, right? He has been a beast. You talked about it in the open. Texas Tech, normally known for their passing game, leads the Big 12 in rushing. As for Kansas State, you believe they're a rushing football team. They lead the Big 12 in passing yards.
Go figure. First down. Swings it out to the back, Taj Brooks, and that is well read by Josh Hayes, the free safety. The transfer from Virginia also spent time at North Dakota State. That's a loss of 1.
It's important to trust your eyes here, and Josh Hayes simply sees it, reacts, and goes. Blows by the wide receiver trying to block him and tackles in space.
After a loss of 1, 2nd down and 11. Ball just on the plus side of the field for Tech. Smith, time running out, and he is sacked. Back at the 44-yard line. Khalid Duke, and that's a loss of 7.
It goes to show how good this defensive front is. Usually only a 3-down line. They get to the quarterback quick there. Khalid Duke, the 6'4", 250-pound junior from Atlanta, Georgia, with the sack.
First sack of the season for Duke, bringing up 3rd and 15 for Tech on their first possession. Three-man rush. Smith with time, now stepping up and flips it to Thompson. Looking for some daylight, none there. A lot of purple jerseys. He gets back up near midfield. The cornerback, Omar Daniels, was the first to get to him. And it'll be 4th down, which is Never with this team, always a given that they'll punt, but they will in this instance.
Yeah, it was probably on a no-go area of the football field. Didn't cross into the 50, but also the length, right? I mean, you get a magic number they get told in their ear before every series. Hey, magic number 6. Magic number's 8.
13 was not the number.
13 is not a magic number.
Austin McNamara, one of the best punters, not only in the Big 12, but around the nation, trying to pin in Brooks inside the 20. He'll do that. The fair catch is taken at the 17-yard line. 34-yard punt for McNamara. K-State ball when we get back to Manhattan. 7-0 K-State, ranked 25th this week into the AP Top 25, and they're about to get the ball for a second time. But before they do, let's check you down on the field on the Score just Saturday with Shane Sparks.
Well, you can imagine, Mark, it is electric down here. It's as loud as I've ever heard it here at Bill Snyder Family Field. Talk about throwing the first punch. Adrian Martinez looking to duplicate what he did last week. You look back to a couple of weeks ago, disappointing against Tulane. They continue to tell him, we believe in you. Let it rip. Play with some confidence and don't worry about making mistakes. He is definitely playing confident football. On the other side, Donovan Smith, that big win last week against Texas. Talking to Coach McGuire, he said what he loves about him is he's coachable, he grinds, doesn't get discouraged. We're going to have ourselves one heck of a ball game today. Both these offenses playing well. I can only imagine both defenses didn't sleep too well this week. Mark?
No question, Shane. There's Brooks with the catch there. Pushed out of bounds by Merriweather and Pearson. Looked like when we looked over Donovan Smith, looked like he was getting the contact lens situation sorted out. But I guess the message has been received by Adrian Martinez. He is letting it loose.
He is. I mean, you've got to take what went on a week ago as a real difference maker. Look at him let the ball go. Just free flowing. He's seeing the field incredibly well. And I'd utilize 85 all day long. He is a heck of a wide receiver. The son, of course, of Pro Football Hall of Famer Kurt Warner.
His 12th catch of the season. That goes for 11 yards. First down, K-State now at their own 34. By the way, the Warner family in Philly this weekend to watch brother EJ, quarterback for Temple. They're not in Manhattan, if you were curious. Three receivers at the bottom of the screen, including Ben Sinnott, who had a couple of key catches early in last week's win. There's a handoff to Deuce Vaughn. Kosai Eldridge, that is. The linebacker comes in to make the quick hit.
The story of the game and the chess match you're going to have to look at is Marquise Waters, their star player, which is what the defensive coordinator calls him. It's going to be him and that matchup with Colin Klein and what he does with Adrian Martinez.
Pressured, lets it go, just airs it out. A little bit other down. That's the best pressure Tech has put on Martinez so far early in this game.
Right here's an instance right now where if he takes off here instead of lets it go, he probably picks up maybe enough for that first down, at least setting up a closer one. But getting rid of the ball and living to fight another day is something that Coach Colin Klein, again, is encouraging in the young man at quarterback.
First third down for K-State. They were 2 of 15 on third down 2 weeks ago against Tulane. 8 of 17 on third down last week at OU. And Martinez getting out of trouble, finds the open man near the sticks and in front of the sticks for a first down. Brooks. 11-yard gain.
Really good job of using this, keeping his eyes down the football field. Even though he's avoiding tackles, he keeps his eyes down the field, allows a wide receiver to come open, and he puts it in a place where only he can catch it.
Vaughn patiently hits the hole, and he'll pick up about 4 on first down right near midfield, wrapped up by defensive tackle Philip Bleedy. Deuce Vaughn 2 weeks ago, the game against Tulane, he came in with streaks of 8 consecutive 100-plus yard rushing games and 9 consecutive games with a rushing touchdown. Both those streaks ended last week at OU. He did rush for more than 100, had 116, did not score a touchdown. It brings some pressure up the middle. That's picked up by Vaughn. Gives Martinez time, and he finds Knowles at the 37 with the forward progress. He'll be pushed way back, but Reggie Pearson among the Red Raiders pushing it back, but forward progress to the 37. Another first down and a gain of 13.
Malik Knowles, the senior out of Mansfield, Texas, the leading pass receiver for this team, finds the opening in the zone and settles in perfectly.
Vaughn on a first down run finds a crease, makes a man miss, and stumbling inside the 20. You get to see some of that wiggle from Deuce Vaughn. Nobody does it better when he gets in the open field.
I sent you all that text message last night with exactly this. Look at him in the hole and make this guy miss. Once again, he makes a miss, just gets enough of a hand on him to trip him up where he would have walked right into the end zone.
18-yard gain. And Tech's going to use a timeout. They're trying to catch their breath here defensively. But K-State on the move again after scoring a touchdown on 2 plays on their first drive.
Been really impressed with offensive coordinator Colin Klein. He's really spread Texas Tech out, right? They've put them in a position where they have to ask a lot of their safeties to come up and make tackles in the open field, in space. And what we've seen from them, they're incredibly long, they're rangy, but they have not done a good job so far in these first 2 series of getting the likes of Deuce Vaughn on the ground as well as Adrian Martinez. Here's the run line. Look how much they spread everybody out. The safeties are at almost 20 yards of depth. You try to tackle that guy one-on-one in the open field, it's very, very difficult, and they're lucky they were able to get him down on the ground, or it would have been a 14-0 game to start.
I know the field's getting shorter. They're in the red zone here, but do you anticipate them kind of shortening those gaps defensively?
Yeah, they're going to have to, simply because they are not having their luck of tackling in space, and there is so much space with what Colin Klein does with his offensive scheme.
So after Tech's first timeout, 1st and 10, just inside the 20 for the Wildcats. Martinez out to Brooks, has the block from Knowles. He gets inside the 10. It looks like he may have another first down. Rashad Williams with the tackle where they spotted. He's going to be just a hair short.
You know, and you stretch the accordion, right? In and out. Make these defensive linemen run and go to the sideline, and then you gut them up the middle.
Fakes the handoff to Deuce. Martinez dumps underneath. Found the tight end Wheeler. It's enough for a first down. It'll be 1st and goal at about the 7.
I like the safe throw, but he had a wide receiver coming over the top in the back of the end zone that would have been a touchdown. Get the first down. Never going to complain about being safe with the football, especially when you're in the red zone.
3rd catch of the season for Lenexa, Kansas native Sammy Wheeler. 1st and goal, Wildcats. Vaughn waiting, gets to the 5, but he has stood up there. Jacob Rodriguez the first to meet him in the hole and stop him to a gain of just 2.
This is where Adrian Martinez really comes into the equation, because what ultimately he becomes is allows for the 10 other players to be blockers when you're your own ball carrier. You remember how the Wildcat offense gave so many defensive coordinators problems? Well, it's because you put a lot of onus on one player on the back end to make a tackle, one-on-one.
Tight ends on the left side, Sinnott and Wheeler. Receivers up top, and Knowles and Brooks, and Martinez is going to be sacked at the 12-yard line. First time that he has been sacked since the opening game of the season against South Dakota.
Now, you can see with Martinez, his eyes were to the left there. The player coming off the slot was the blitzer. He was the free man that Martinez has to see to be able to throw hot. By the time his eyes get back to him, he's already consumed by the defensive pass rush, and he sets up a long 3rd and goal.
3 receivers up top, including Sinnott. The tight end split out wide in the slot. Vaughn comes in motion. Martinez, Brooks, and that's well defended by Texas Tech. They stop him at the 11, swarmed under by Tyree Wilson, number 19, outstanding edge player on that defense for Tech.
Yeah, interesting play call there, because they motion Deuce Vaughn right to where the screen is. You're bringing sand to the beach right there, and just puts everybody in the way of the screen coming under. Look at all those white shirts right there to make the tackle and set up a field goal attempt.
Sand to the beach, I love that. That's a nice analogy. 29-yard attempt coming here.
There's plenty of sand there. We don't need that already.
Chris Tennant, the right hash. And He knocks it through, but in many ways that seems like a win for Tech, Ryan, because that timeout was well spent.
Huge opportunity for Tech to get a stop, get some confidence as they get the ball back.
Well, last Saturday night, after K-State won in Norman, they make the charter flight back home. They get to the stadium at 2:30 in the morning, and who's there? Well, Dr. Frank Trace, the Pride, the cheerleaders, the band. They're all there to celebrate the road win, which they do for every road win, not just wins over like a number 16 like OU. And I think some of the players that are on the team for the first time, they're like, wow, do they do that all the time? Yeah, anytime you win a road game, you're going to get them back here, even at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, the pageantry of college football is so special. I was down on the field with the head coaches before the game, and I just told them both how much I missed this atmosphere. It's so much fun to be around.
Kickoff will come out to the 25. Tech for their second possession of the game. If you just look at the rushing yards right now, and again, K-State's had 2 possessions, Tech just 1. K-State has 100 rushing yards. Tech, due to the sacks, they're -4.
It's more like it. What we thought we'd see is Kansas State, and maybe that's more their identity, right? Essentially, what Adrian Martinez does really well, run the football, make defenses have to consider him as a threat, use Deuce Vaughn and their solid stable of wide receivers along in that triple option look.
Thompson is the running back, and he's going to get the carry on first down. So Roderick makes a cutback, and he'll get 6-7 yards out of that when it looked like he may get 1 or 2. This is a guy, when he especially gets ahead of Steve Thompson, he's a tough guy to bring down.
And he's patient, right? He's able to wait for the offensive lineman to kind of give them that sliver of light, and he finds his way through it.
Here's Miles Price, his first catch of the game. He's immediately brought down by Josh Hayes, but Price coming off a career-high 13 catches in the win against Texas last week.
Yeah, if you watch here, the ball gets out to him quick, but watch him hesitate. Doesn't quite know where to go, and that allows for the defender and Hayes to come up and make the sure tackle.
Well, the Red Raiders facing a 3rd down and 4 from their 31.
It's a big play here. They need a first down.
Price in motion. Smith with time, dumps it underneath, but short of the sticks is Thompson, who's immediately brought down by Daniel Green, and they're going to be a couple of yards short. A team that went for it on 4th down 8 times last week, and 16 on the season.
Well, the magic number must have been under 2 yards, I'm assuming, on this one.
It's 4th and call it a yard.
I don't like when you slide up in the shotgun when it's 4th and inches. You got a 6'5", 230-pound quarterback.
Big play for Tech's offense from their own 34 on 4th down, and they're going to turn it over on downs as Austin Moore got in the backfield and drops him for a loss. And Tech goes for it and turns it over at their own 33.
Watch here as he hesitates just a little, and then Austin Moore comes flying off the edge. If Smith would have been maybe a little more anxious to get going with forward motion, there was a hole there to pick up that first down, but the backside, Austin Moore comes around the side and gets him at his ankles to bring him down short of the first down.
We had a long talk yesterday in person with Joey McGuire over at their team hotel here in town about 4th down. With the conversation we had, I don't think we're surprised that he went for it. Maybe the play call?
I like the play call.
Okay.
I like giving the big quarterback the ball, but let's do it under center. Right? Not 5-6 yards back. You turn it into 4th and 7 instead of 4th and 1.
Because Donovan Smith showed on that touchdown run to start the game last week that he can have some real man runs when he needs especially short yardage. That's up to the 31 for Deuce.
Also, to your point around the analytics of going for it on 4th down, the difference is teams know, right? Like, they know what we're doing now. So the defensive coordinator, Tim DeRuiter, like, he knows that this is going to happen, and we could be back out on the field quickly.
Hits in stride. Warner, first down inside the 15, close to the 10, where he is swarmed under by a host of tacklers, including Marquise Waters.
quintessential RPO here. Looks and sees the linebacker hesitate just a bit, and right behind his shoulder, he hits Cade Warner for the big first down.
And we get our first flag of the game. And the referee today.
False start, number 73, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Scott Campbell says that's on the right tackle, Christian Duffy. Something K-State did so well last week at OU was not getting these pre-snap penalties when OU was plagued by them. If they get one here to start the penalty count today.
I mean, that's a pretty good equalizer when you're on the road in front of 75,000 people. If you stay penalty free, especially before the snap, and that's exactly what happened last Saturday night in Norman.
Well, that cost him 5, 1st and 15. Give it to Deuce, running east-west, and he's going to be dropped for a loss. Run down by Marquise Waters, who plays that star position, the grad transfer from Duke, and he drops him for a 6-yard loss.
Incredible job of him as setting the edge. He will not allow Deuce Vaughn to get outside. He keeps his upfield shoulder, the furthest to the right there, is able to pull down the speedy running back for a tackle for loss.
And all of a sudden, it's 2nd and 21 from the 22-yard line. 3 receivers up top and running to the near side. That's a design run for the quarterback, and Martinez going to get quite a bit of that back. Steps out just inside the 10. That gains 13. Again,
you have hat on hat, right? The guy that has to make the play is the safety, who's 18 yards back. And when it's 2nd and 22, what a great play call, right? You put it one-on-one. If you're able to get that hat on hat and get those blocks set, Adrian Martinez has a free lane all the way to that safety to make a tackle in space.
So they're at the 9. It's 3rd and 8. They can, in theory, get a first down without scoring with the line to gain at the 1. Brooks comes in motion. Handoff. Deuce Vaughn running left. Runs into the pile and stopped at the 8. And looks like another field goal attempt. And if you're Texas Tech, this could kind of be another win for them.
It's a huge win for them. I'm a little interested with the play call there. With that kind of play call, you would have thought that maybe Coach Kleiman had told Colin Klein that, hey, there's 4 downs. You know, go ahead and pick up a few here if you need to. Another good stop by this Texas Tech Red Raiders defense after the decision to go for it on 4th down in their own territory.
Tennant hit from 29 off the right hash earlier. This is from 26, just inside the left. And Tennant, who had some big field goals in the win at Oklahoma, has hit 2 here so far today. So 3 possessions for K-State. They've scored on all 3 and lead 13-0. Under a half minute to play in the first quarter on this gorgeous Saturday in Manhattan. 3 drives for K-State. They've all been scoring drives. The first one to open the game as they won the toss, took the ball. 2 running plays, a 57 and then a touchdown run of 18, both for Martinez. In the last 2 drives, they have had to settle for field goals.
Yeah, Coach Klein talked to us about how they didn't want to have him carry the ball 25+ times like he did a week ago, but clearly it looks like it's in the game plan, and it's a way that they can attack this Texas Tech defense.
White, who had a nice return earlier in the game, is going to be able to return this from the 2-yard line. Hits the 15, but won't make it to the 20. That O-line for K-State, a big part not only of today's game, but last week's as well at Norman. And Shane, they got a little crazy after the game, did they, in Norman?
Yeah, they did. They wanted to remember the effort they have. I was talking with guard Cooper Beebe, and he remembers it starting in 2020, this tradition. When they win on the road, they take off their shirts, they take a picture by the scoreboard. If you look really close, you can see the offensive line coach, Connor Riley. It goes without saying, guys, you can't teach this kind of sexy. You are simply just born with it. You got to love those big guys up front. Mark?
Can't be taught. Thanks, Shane. 1st and 10 and a run for Smith. We'll take it up near the 22, so picks up close, about 5 or 6 on first down.
There's been some unique nicknames for offensive linemen, the Hogs, everything like that. I recall during my tenure at Washington State, ours was called the Fat Five. You know, so these guys, they buy in.
First quarter. Timeout on the field.
The Fat Five.
The Fat Five.
First quarter in the books in Manhattan. 13-0 K-State after one. So time of possession heavily favoring K-State. The ball control in that first quarter. In many ways, Ryan, Texas Tech, head coach Joey McGuire's team, fortunate they're only down 13 and not down 21.
Incredibly fortunate for their defense to get a couple stops there. It's imperative that they get some jolt of offense here, whether it's 3 points or preferably 7, to get a little confidence in this Texas Tech offense.
Time, Smith throws just out of reach of the tight end. Going for Mason Tharp. Drake Cheatham, who's 5'10", had the coverage on the 6'9" Mason Tharp.
Incredibly impressive by Drake Cheatham there. To stay man-to-man here. Maybe the sun played a little bit into that throw. Kind of looked like Tharp may have lost the ball for an instant, but you got to put that more on the big body of the tight end, especially when you got somebody that small trailing in that instance.
Another big third down for Tech. They're 0 for 2 so far today.
Going up top here, 1-on-1.
Four-man rush, and there is Price, who was the man last week. I mentioned the 13 catches, a career high, had almost 100 yards receiving. He gets a big first down there for Tech.
Huge.
After just their second first down of the game, there's Smith pulled down Felix Anudike-Uzomah.
Sometimes with the tempo, sometimes I don't feel like you get settled and you get to see what the defense is actually trying to do, because Donovan Smith looked a little confused there in what was ran and what he was looking to possibly see in that play.
3 receivers, the bottom of the screen. Motion out Brooks. Smith under pressure, trying to get away and can't. Tripped up again, back at the 25 by Khalid Duke. A loss of 6.
Again, a little bit of confusion here. They run the motion out that the guy is wide open with 3 guys ahead of him blocking. Instead, Donovan Smith tries to then retreat and go back the other way, right into the clutches of this Wildcat defense.
I don't know what the magic number is for it to go on 4th down if they get to it, but it's 3rd and 17 here. Back at their own 25.
Crowd is into it too.
It's a 3-man rush. Smith time. He's going to take a shot. That ball kind of wobbly and up for grabs, and it's picked off by Austin Moore. First interception of the season for Moore, and K-State's going to get the ball back their own 47.
I can't quite tell here. Let's take a look and see if his arm gets hit. It may have gotten tipped just a little bit, because that ball looked fluttering like a duck all the way down there, and Austin Moore, the linebacker, gets his hand on that right throwing arm, and it just flutters into the air. Austin Moore, outside linebacker, right there to get the pick. It can essentially be seen as a bit of a bad punt of sorts if you're a defensive coordinator. You've stopped them twice now, and now you have an opportunity again, but it's not ideal.
K-State now +7 turnover margin on the year, and that's the 8th interception they have as a defense. Deuce gets slammed down at the end. Josiah Eldridge and others for Texas Tech. No gain there.
Well, you couldn't have started a game better coming off a big win like that to bounce back in the way they have this first quarter.
Deuce creep through for a moment, and that comes out. And it looks like Tech's going to get it back on what would be just the 2nd turnover of the season for K-State. Tyree Wilson, number 19, comes out with it. And there is Deuce Vaughn, slow to get up.
He finds his way through the hole, but as he gets spun around here, watch as he gets turned around, the hit then drops him right to the ground. Ball pops right into the defender's arms, right there on the spot. And now Texas Tech, for the 3rd consecutive time, has found a way to get the ball back to his offense.
And a lot of concern in this crowd is Deuce Vaughn being attended to as we go to break. The carry by Deuce Vaughn. For Sean Merriweather, you'll see number 1 has his left leg. And then another hit comes in up top that jars the bar loose. And it looks like that leg might have gotten twisted a bit, Ryan.
Yeah, he gets spun around a little bit. I think there may be a little bit of a pride injury there too. You hate to fumble the football, especially from such a successful young running back.
Came off under his own power with a little bit of a limp. We'll keep a close eye on that. Smith ranges and then throws dangerously. It was in the direction of Brooks, but the defender was right there as well and had a chance at that football, that being Khalid Duke.
Yeah, he's really looked out of sorts in what he's seen down the football field. I know that Joe Klanderman, defensive coordinator for Kansas State, really wanted to show him something pre-snap and then something completely different after the snap, and that seems to have confused him because the last 4 plays for Donovan Smith, he's really looked out of sorts.
Handoff, Brooks gets a little crease and squirts forward to the 46-yard line. K-State a 6-yard gain. What you just mentioned, what they're doing here, a lot of what North Carolina State did defensively against Smith a couple weeks ago. Brooks ducks his head, and he's going to be short, very close, but a little short. Well, it's going to be 4th down, and they're definitely going to go for this. The 4th of the yard at the K-State 41, right back to the line, and then under center, he gets a push from the backside. But the official, I don't think it
The ball was not marked ready for play yet when Texas Tech snapped the ball. Reset the game clock, or the play clock, to 25 seconds. It's going to go on my signal.
Yeah, the center judge wasn't out of there yet when the ball was snapped. And he's right in the wash there.
I kind of like it. I like Donovan Smith just kind of looking like, you know, I'm not paying any attention to you. I'm going to get under center, and I'm going to go. Here they're going to line up in a bit of the pistol again. 4th and inches. Utilize your 6'5", 230-pound sophomore quarterback.
Brooks has the first down. Gets it by a good half-yard or so, and they convert on this 4th down, and the drive continues for the Red Raiders.
You know, Brooks and Smith here, they do a really good job at the mesh point of trying to confuse Kansas State to make and commit to something. Ultimately, the defensive end came up the field enough where they handed it off to Brooks, who was able to pick up the 1 yard.
Smith design run this time, slipped a little bit, keeps his feet and advances for about 3 yards to the 37. Ryan, last week, Texas Tech was down 14 in the second half to Texas, came back and won that game. So this is not an end-all be-all drive, and you really get a feeling like they need some points on this possession.
Well, you said it during the commercial break, like this, it's imperative that they get some sort of points here, whether that's a field goal, but preferably a touchdown, because you have to jolt this offense to feel like they're back in this game, because they have not looked like themselves so far. And, hey, Kansas State's defense can make that happen to anybody. Just look at Oklahoma a week ago.
Smith dumps it off underneath. Brooks, the running back, lost the ball at the end. The official saying it was down, but I'm sure they'll take a look at this. Kobe Savage there on the tackle.
The runner was ruled down by rule. 3rd down.
Tech's trying to get right to the line and snap this. Oh no, that ball's out.
Oh yeah, it's once you see a guy
rolling on the field, was the runner was down before the ball came loose. Previous play is under further review.
And there was a K-State recovery after the ball came out.
Clear recovery by Kansas State there. Anytime a guy's leaning forward or has that forward lean and the ball pops out, it's rare that they're down, because the ball usually pops out towards the back, and that's exactly what happened here. Good job of punching with his right hand as he came through to make the tackle and wrap up.
And then Nate Matlack jumped on it. And the only part of his body that was close to being down was that left forearm, and I don't think it was.
No,
not at all.
The ball is out as soon as the hit takes place. Wonderful job of getting lower, which is hard to do. It looks like he slips a little bit and it makes it advantageous for him to get that right arm on the ball as he goes to wrap up. And the worst possible scenario for Texas Tech here, to fumble it, to turn it over.
Well, there certainly seems to be enough for replay official Jeff Hansen to change this call on the field. This should be the second turnover of the game for Tech in K-State ball from their own 34. And if it is, when you include the K-State turnover, it would be 3 straight possessions combined with turnover.
After review, the ruling on the field of a catch is confirmed. The ball came out prior to the runner being ruled down by rule. First and 10, Kansas State at the 34-yard line.
I don't think there was any question about the catch. It seemed like he took 3 or 4 steps after that. But the end result is the second Texas Tech turnover, and it's K-State ball.
And, you know, what happens here is they bring the corner off the edge, and Donovan Smith looked a little surprised. The throw there would have been to that slant where the zone was vacated. Instead, he hesitates a bit, gives it to a running back who took a little shot when he was getting out of the backfield, and maybe he had a little, not a great hold on the football. Great job, of course, by Kansas State of dislodging that ball and then, of course, getting the recovery. You're asking a lot of this Texas Tech defense.
A little sigh of relief for K-State fans here. That is Vaughn in the backfield, so Deuce back out there for K-State. Bring it 5. Martinez throws. He has the tight end Sinnott, who had to turn and adjust. Was able to get a hand on it, but it drops incomplete at the Tech 40. And Malik Dunlap there on the coverage. What did you see down there, Shane?
Well, as you said, sigh of relief for Wildcat fans. When they brought Deuce Vaughn over, it was a good sign initially. They did not put him in the injury tents. He just sat down, took a couple of minutes, got up, took a deep breath, and then gave all of his offensive linemen a high five. So great to see Deuce Vaughn back in.
Yeah, definitely so. It looks like he kind of got that left leg twisted on the fumble on their last possession. Martinez hands it off to him. He bounced off a couple of tacklers, and Deuce is looking like Deuce there as he gains to the 41-yard line.
Maybe there was something to the pride injury. I know what that feels like, right? When you fumble the football, you want to lay there for a minute and go. But he bounces right back.
3rd and 3, and he's going to be short. It's about a half yard there as Tony Bradford, the defensive tackle, made sure he didn't get the first, and it'll be 4th down. And they're going to bring out the punter, Ty Zentner.
I can't speak more highly than what Tim DeRuyter has asked of his defense so far on the last 3 series to get these types of stops. I mean, the offense has put them in awful positions, and yet defensively they continue to get stops and give them opportunities.
In many ways, this game for Tech looks a lot like the North Carolina State game, where Tech's defense kept them in that game really for the first half and into the second half before they eventually were beaten. As that Miles Price 44-yard punt with no return. They'll have it at the 15 when we come back. Still 13-0 K-State. Hey, you don't have to wait for the weekend for your Big 12 football fix. Introducing the Big 12 Football Weekly Show, presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. It features highlights, breakdowns, special guests. If you're a Big 12 football fan, definitely a can't miss. The hour-long show is available at 7 p.m. Central Time every Wednesday throughout the season. Only here on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. Texas Tech going to get the ball back. Here's a look at their drive chart. It's not very pretty, Ryan, and in many ways still fortunate to be only down 13-0.
Fortunate? Are you kidding me? I mean, they should thank their lucky stars that they're still in this football game because of that defense. They need to respond here. They need to have an offensive possession that eats a ton of time and gets them in the end zone.
Both these teams trying to go to 4-1 on the season and 2-0 in conference play. Texas hasn't started 2-0 since 2013. There's a pass out towards the boundary, and that's caught at the 22-yard line by Sparkman. Colby Savage on the tackle. And that hurry up, the pass was to Price, and he was blocking. So usually when I see that, I think RPO, and you're not sure if it's a run or pass on the edge.
And I don't want to continue to harp on this, but I just feel like something's off with number 7 right now. He does not feel comfortable, and that easily could be because of what Kansas State is putting in front of him. But he's missing open guys. He's not setting his feet. He has had 2 games up and 2 games down, you know, so you take the good with the bad.
3rd down and 3. And a pass off the mark, well off the mark for Price. 4th down, and that's a quick 3 and out, I assume. Yeah, it looks like the punting unit is going to come out here deep in their own territory. Smith now 9 of 14, 36 yards and an interception. And Tech's now 1 of 7 on 3rd down today. McNamara will come on to punt. Taken at the 36 by Brooks. Coming out wide to the near side. Gets a block there. It'll advance to the 45. A lot of running east-west. He does get a 9-yard return out of all that after just a 36-yard punt.
On the field.
Good starting field position for Adrian Martinez and the Wildcats when we return to Manhattan. Gorgeous Saturday now in October here in Manhattan. 13-0 K-State leading Tech with 8:19 left till halftime. Take a look around the Big 12. Of course, Oklahoma beaten by K-State last week. They were number 6 then. They're 18 now. And they're getting all they can handle in Fort Worth right now from Sonny Dykes' team. Great schedule of upcoming games, including down the road in Lawrence, Iowa State, and Kansas. And that Oklahoma State-Baylor game, something else. And Oklahoma State's on the docket next for Texas Tech. That's going to be 5 straight AP top 25 teams. That ball's loose. Martinez able to jump back on it, as it did look like a fumble.
I may just jump in the car after this and stop in Lawrence on the way.
You may. There's some people in this press box that probably will do that. Yeah. It's right on the way to Kansas City. Martinez got it knocked out, and that was Tyree Wilson, the guy who's just a freakish athlete.
He's an NFL guy for sure. Yeah, transfer from Texas A&M.
Vaughn stood up there at the 42-yard line. It'll be about 3 yards shy of the 1st down. Well, K-State first 3 possessions, touchdown, field goal. Last 2 fumbled and a punt.
3rd and 13.
And I should say 3rd and 13. Yeah, long way to go. 3rd and 13. Ooh.
Deuce Vaughn, what a stellar block.
There is a flag back at the 30. Martinez running will have the 1st down and more inside the 20, but it's probably going to be coming back. He's out inside the 10, but that yellow flag back at the 31-yard line is going to be a real reckoning.
Number 54, offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still 3rd down.
Hit the right guard, Hadley Panzer. What would have been a 60-yard run comes back.
Good job of him. Watch Deuce Vaughn right there. Just stand up Merriweather in the middle of the hole. Give him some time. The hold there, of course, right on the outside shoulder. Anytime an offensive lineman has him solid and the quarterback moves outside the pocket, there's a real good chance the official's going to see that jersey pulled. And then Adrian Martinez is just an incredible athlete, right? His ability to run with the football, especially in scramble situations, is so good.
And now they're looking at 3rd down and 23. The line to gain is the 45 of Tech. Martinez can run if he wants here. He's still looking downfield. Throws down to the 45 to Warner, who steps out at the 49, about 6 yards from the 1st down. What are they going to do here? Looks like they're going to bring out the punter, Ty Zintner.
I mean, Chris Kleinman, head football coach for Kansas State, he knows what his defense is doing right now. He's not going to put them in the most precarious position and give any kind of confidence to Texas Tech offensively.
Tech hasn't shown that they're going to go on a 18-play, 75-yard drive like they did their first possession against Texas last week. Why risk giving the football at midfield?
30 seconds.
Especially when they can't get a 1st down right now. I mean, 1 so far in this game. I will say this: I don't know if we have an all 22 of that last play, but R.J. Garcia, the wide receiver closest to us there, he got absolutely mauled right in front of the official too, and I just was, okay, where's the flag coming? Well, instead he took his hat off because he got thrown out of bounds. It was like a punt there, and so I thought for sure a flag was coming there.
Instead, a punt for K-State. So their first 3 possessions, all scoring drives. Now their next 3 have all been empty possessions.
No one's down here.
He gets it away. High punt, fair catch called for at the 14. Taken there by Price, 39-yard punt. Well, you can help people affected by Hurricane Ian. You can donate at redcross.org/ESPN, which will help the Red Cross prepare for, respond to, and help people recover from this disaster. Your donation will help provide people and communities with food, shelter, relief supplies, recovery planning support, and other assistance. Again, redcross.org/ESPN.
Help if you can.
Yes. Thinking of all the folks there on the Atlantic and Gulf Coast affected by Ian. Smith finds Price. 25, 28, 29, bumped out there. And that's a pretty good start for Texas Tech, the way things have been going. A first down at gain of 16.
Well, I'm sure there was a kind of come to Jesus moment over there on the sideline with Donovan Smith saying, "Hey, you gotta get this right now. I'm going to take you out of the football game and focus up on what we're trying to accomplish here."
Thompson in the backfield. Where's he going to go? He's going to try to get a block. He does there. Comes out the top side, and now one more block, and he's at the 45 to the 46-yard line. That's about as entertaining a 16-yard gain as you're going to find.
Incredibly well done. Watch the balance at every position. When he gets bodies on him, when he comes back around, and then wonderful job.
That was Martinez with that block.
Of Red Raiders down the football field to allow for him to set up some more moves to pick up that first down.
First down from their own 46. Hesitating. Good patient run there across midfield to the 49 for Taj Brooks.
Both of these running backs are incredibly patient. You said it, right? They allow the offensive linemen to do their job, to move people off their spots, especially in this Okie stack defense, right? When you have those types of gaps, sometimes you just have to be patient and allow the hole to open and slide, and you fit yourself right through it. And they both do a tremendous job of that, Brooks and Thompson.
So that gained 5, 2nd and 5. Right back to Brooks, uses the block from the tight end, and he'll have the first down at the 44-yard line of K-State, and it is a first down for Texas Tech.
Number 27, Gavin Busher.
4 minutes to play. First half for Manhattan. There he hits the hole. Makes a man miss. So Roderick Thompson inside the 25. Mark him out at the 21. Another impressive run for Texas Tech, this one from Thompson.
Really like how they spread the field to the right, then came back to the left, and you put a one-on-one matchup there, and Sir Roderick Thompson makes him miss, picks up a big gain on first down.
Gain to 23, and that play whistled dead.
I think the timeout was called.
Coach Joey
Play
McGuire.
clock never reset after the last down. Reset the play clock, 25 seconds. Both the game clock and the play clock will start on my signal.
Okay, going back to that last play where they picked up the big first down. Texas Tech really spreads them out to the right, uses everybody on the backside, and they bring a blitz, allows the left tackle to kick him out. Then it's one-on-one, and he makes him miss. Luckily, Daniel Green is able to run him down, but other than that, he would have been off to the races. Wonderful play call, wonderful scheme in a chess match against Klanderman, defensive coordinator for the Wildcats.
So clock running. First down Tech at the 21 of K-State. Zion run for Smith, the quarterback, wrapped up from behind at the 18-yard line.
And tackle on running coach Jalen Pickle.
This Jalen Pickle, defensive end out of Cameron High School. Cimarron, Kansas.
Zach Kitley, offensive coordinator for Texas Tech. He may have found something over here into the boundary and what they've done over the last few plays, especially running the football.
Smith flushed out. He can run, will do just that. He steps out near the 10. Right near the marker, should be enough for a first down. It will be marked at the 10. First and goal.
Instincts kind of take over there, Mark. I saw as soon as it opened up, I was like, don't try to throw that ball into the end zone. Get the first down. Get the first down. Sure enough, he does. He uses his feet well. Really impressed with how he's responded on this drive, especially with the clock winding down at the end of the first half. They are able to close this to 6 points. That's a huge advantage for them going in at halftime.
He looks at Thompson. He's going to run again, makes a cut, and is cut down at the 6-yard line. Well, you said it. If Tech's able to get a touchdown, and if somehow this is a 6-point game at the half, you got to be overjoyed if you're a Tech fan.
Not only overjoyed, but you get the ball coming out at halftime.
Correct.
Right. This game could be flipped on its ear immediately with a score here.
Second and goal. 3 receivers at the bottom. Thompson motions out. Plenty of time. Smith finds him wide open in the end zone. Touchdown. That's Martinez. 6-yard touchdown pass. And Tech, an impressive drive, hands down their best drive of the football game to make it a 1-possession game.
Watch the protection here. Donovan Smith has all day to throw, and he allows and waits for his wide receiver to come all the way across the football field on that drag route, and they put it together for a touchdown. That's big. Leaves only 1:24 left. That couldn't have been a bigger drive for this Red Raiders squad and Joey McGuire.
Second touchdown catch of the year for Nehemiah Martinez, and the extra point is good. Maybe the only negative for Tech is that you did leave 1:24 in the timeouts for K-State, but a 9-play, 86-yard drive ate up just over 4.5 minutes, and boom, Tech's back in the game in Manhattan.
That deep return for K-State. Number 8, Phillip Brooks. And number 4.
Donovan Smith leading the Texas Tech offense on that 9-play, 86-yard drive to get him back in the game. Does leave 1:24 on the clock and 3 timeouts for K-State to try to respond before the end of the first half here in Manhattan. And a line drive is going to come down at the 10, and Knowles will let it skip into the end zone. It'll come out to the 25. By the way, coming up at the half, send you to the studio with Kevin Connors, Joey Galloway, and Sam Alcho. They're going to talk virtual locks and preview tonight's slate of games, including a top 10 matchup between North Carolina State and Clemson. We'll also have the Big 12 scoreboard and a first half recap. Take a look at some numbers. Tech crept back in the game, but they got what they wanted on that last drive, and that's a touchdown.
Oh boy, did they, Mark. It's exactly what they needed. And now, you know, the way the defense has been playing, it would be a real shock if Kansas State was all of a sudden able to open something up and get a score before half. If they continue to do what they've been doing over the last, 4 series, this bodes well for this Red Raiders team and fans as you head into halftime.
K-State, their 7th possession of the game. First 3 scoring drives. Touchdown, field goal. Last 3 all empty possessions. Martinez, plenty of time to throw. He's just going to loft it. That's going to land right inbounds near the sideline. Incomplete. In the direction of Cade Warner.
Good job defensively. They started in a 2-high look. They rolled to a 1-high with a man coverage, and they were all locked in. They didn't allow for any of the wide receivers to get any openings, and Martinez was forced to ultimately just throw it away.
Back to 5 wide. Martinez feeling the pressure and is sacked. Back at the 16, sacked for the 2nd time today. A loss of 9. And now K-State probably not all that interested in using these timeouts.
I'd use it on the other side.
Yeah, they got one left. Tech does.
Suppose if they get him to stop here, they'll use it.
Clock has gone under a minute to play in this first half.
Tyree Wilson's a beast, man. 6'6", 275-pounder. Transfer from Texas A&M. He's a guy. He's a first round. He's a first round NFL defensive edge rusher.
Give it to Deuce Vaughn. He'll be pushed forward to the original line of scrimmage, the 25. And let's see if Tech wants to use a timeout.
They do.
They will indeed.
Timeout. Texas Tech. Last of the half.
Keep in mind, as you mentioned a short time ago, Ryan, Tech will get the ball to start the second half. So they're looking pretty good that they're only going to be down 6. We'll see here at the half. After, let's face it, their first handful of drives.
I mean, what an incredible turn of events. I mean, just a series ago, I was ready to throw the Texas Tech game plan off the roof here where we're at. And instead, they go on an 86-yard drive to get 6 and bring them within 6, knowing they're going to get the ball. I mean, you got to compliment the defense and Tim DeRuyter, defensive coordinator, the scheme he has in place after getting kind of the barn doors blown off early in those first 3 series to start coming up with stops again against a very explosive offense.
Now's Price back to receive the Zentner punt. He's calling for a fair catch at the 40, which is where he takes it and where a flag comes down. 35-yard punt. Let's see about the flag.
A hold or hands to the face, it looked like right in the
During
middle
the return, holding number 24, return team. That 10-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the kick. First down, Texas Tech.
That's a killer right there.
Yeah, that may put this opportunity maybe on ice. Although I would take a shot.
Yeah.
Because you get an opportunity with the clock stopping with a first down. Maybe see if you can get something to split these safeties down the middle, run up, get a clock opportunity, and then maybe a chance
during the kick.
And then maybe a chance for a Hail Mary to end the half.
Trey Wolf, the field goal kicker, he obviously hit some big ones, including the game winner overtime last week. He was out here before the game, booming them from 50-55. That was the first Texas Tech penalty of the game. So instead of starting at the 40, they're at the 30. And Smith fires, and a leaping catch and a hard hit, but hanging on to it is Trey Cleveland. Kobe Savage applied that hit, but it's up to midfield, first down.
Those are the only 2 places you can hit it in that kind of coverage, right? On the sideline in the gap or over the middle. Great job by Smith. Got to get rid of the ball.
We're down to 10 seconds. He goes out of bounds, and it's going to be a late hit on that push by Savage. And with that, with 9 seconds left, they're creeping closer in range with a wind out of the kind of south-southeast for Trey Wolf.
I don't know what they're discussing here. You got spun and thrown out of bounds, so to me it was clear.
Okay, now does it make a difference though that the original contact came with him still in bounds right there?
Yeah.
And then it continued out of bounds.
Yeah, it's fine. You have to be aware of your surroundings.
Late hit out of bounds. Number 2. Defense. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. Automatic. First down.
That is a huge penalty. And now you're looking at Tech. Again, they don't have any timeouts now. So they got to work the sideline here. But you are within range. Let's see here. What we saw from Trey Wolf before the game.
Mark, right down here at the bottom of your screen, you got a wide receiver and a defensive back about 10 yards off. Throw a little quick out route to about the 30-yard line, maybe. That's what I would be looking at right now.
Smith looking in that direction. Yep, he gets it to Price, who steps out at about the 33, 34-yard line, stopping the clock with 5 seconds. They're going to give Trey Wolf a shot to make this a 3-point game before halftime.
Wonderful efficiency and execution. Of course, the big penalty on Savage that gave him the extra 15 yards and put him in a more manageable, but wonderful job by Donovan Smith there. Seeing what I saw and saw all that open space to the edge to set up a 51-yard field goal.
Off the left hash. And K-State has timeouts that they can use to try to
First the half. 30
ice
seconds.
Trey Wolf here. You know, Trey Wolf's an interesting story. The place kicker for Texas Tech. Obviously, the overtime field goal to have the field stormed at the Jones last week to beat Texas. This is a guy, go back to the 2020 season. He missed like 4 of his first 5 field goals, lost the job, but now he's bounced back, and he's hit some big field goals for Texas Tech this year, and he's trying to hit another here before the end of the half.
Well, when you go 3 for 3 against your arch rivals, the Texas Longhorns, 1 for the game winner. This little 51-yarder in Manhattan, Kansas, got to be nothing, Mark.
His long this season, he had a 47-yarder against Houston. And this is from 51 off the left hash with 5 seconds to play in the first half. Good snap, good hold, kicks away. It has the distance, and it is up and good. And what a finish to the first half for the Texas Tech Red Raiders, who, quite frankly, Ryan, had a lot of nothing going until their last 2 possessions of the half.
Incredible job. Joey McGuire, head football coach, must have got in their tail a little bit. You know, said they were much better than what they were showing out there. And I tell you what, this team responded, especially defensively and then ultimately at the end on the offensive side of the football.
So a strong finish for Smith there in the half. Let's go down to Shane with Coach Kleiman.
Coach Kleiman, good first quarter offensively. You stall in the second quarter. How do you ignite these guys for the second half?
We've got to ignite them. That was an awful second quarter, awful way to end the half. We've got to nut up here and make some plays because we had a good first quarter and then we didn't capitalize on the opportunities that we had, so we got to go back to work.
Defense played pretty well, did a good job against the opposing quarterback. Smith, what impressed you most about their effort?
We were good, but we missed too many tackles. We lost the cup. He did a good job scrambling, so we got to shore that up.
Thanks for the time.
Coach Kleiman, Shane, thanks very much. Coming up, as we see K-State, they've led it to half every game so far this season, and they are up 3 as we go to the break. Coming up, we'll send you to the studio with Connors, Galloway, and Acho. They'll have a lot more. What an end to the first half for Texas Tech. After 2 quarters for Manhattan, 13-10 Wildcats. Donovan Smith and that Texas Tech offense going to get the ball to start the second half. Down just 3, but it was the defense, Ryan, that kept them in the game.
Yeah, we talked to Tim DeRuiter, defensive coordinator, yesterday, and he was very adamant about their eyes will be incredibly important today, not to be influenced by the window dressing, and they have been. They've stayed in their gaps, they've used their length to tackle in space, and they've gotten after the quarterback late in that second quarter. And so you couldn't have asked for more from this Texas Tech defense, actually responding after what Kansas State was able to do on their first 3 drives. You could even argue the 2 drives that they held them to field goals was just as big in those moments.
No question, if you throw out those 2 big runs by Martinez early in the game, could have been just 6 points in that first half for K-State. Shane had a chance to talk with Joey McGuire, the Red Raiders head coach. What was on his mind at half? I think he hasn't gotten back from the concession stand yet. We're going to check back in with him in a moment. Donovan Smith, you see the numbers in that first half, 12 of 17. And it was the last couple drives where he made his money in that first half.
Yeah, he did. He was challenged, and he accepted it. Let's go back to pretty much the same what they did before. And
go to Taj Brooks for the first play of the second half for a gain of 6.
And I think the same of what those last 2 drives were. It was they established the run first, and then it kind of maybe took a little pressure off him. He was able to spread it around on the football field, but Brooks and Thompson were the real catalysts on that ultimate 86-yard drive before half.
Right back to Taj Brooks. This time stopped for about a 3-yard gain up to the 33-yard line.
You know, I would argue that this Texas Tech team has already kind of been formed in the identity of Joey McGuire. You know, the new head coach at Texas Tech. What you come away from thinking when you spend time with him and speak with him is like, he's Texas. I mean, that's
authentic,
humble. That's who he is. The kids have bought in, and there's an identity to this football team now. It's defense, it's physical, and that's not something you normally would attach with Texas Tech.
We're 1-6 on 3rd down. It's going to be a running attempt to keep the drive going, and Smith will get it done. Their second 3rd down conversion of the football game.
Get a little anxiety when he hesitates like that. I'm just like, but I guess it's what the other running backs are doing. He's essentially doing the same thing and letting those offensive linemen do their work, clear some things out.
Brooks stopped at the 39 and then pushed back, and forward progress will get him a couple of yards. Eli Huggins, big nose tackle out of Georgia, who today is making his 25th consecutive start. Almost on the defense.
That nose tackle, too. Just the big uglies up front, almost 300 pounds. He does a tremendous job of shedding blockers and then being right there to make the tackle. He did that on first down.
He was a big part of that win last week at OU. That screen, Miles Price. It's another yard or two after the catch to the 43-yard line. Another stop there for Drake Cheatham.
Kind of like that play call there, the way they motioned out the running back and then slipped back underneath with their wide receiver, kind of allowing Kansas State to over pursuit a little bit. And again, sets them up with a very manageable third down opportunity here.
Four-man rush. Smith in trouble. He's going to be brought down back at the 40-yard line. Sacked for a loss of 4. That's Felix Anudike-Uzama. Third sack of the game for K-State.
Good job off the edge. He just swims by that left tackle, and Donovan Smith doesn't move up in the pocket fast enough, and Uzama rips him to the ground. Huge stop for Kansas State. That's exactly the response that Coach Kleinman and Klanderman wanted from this Wildcat defense.
Texas Tech gets 1 first down on their first possession of the second half, and the punt. McNamara bounces at the 1 and into the end zone to come out to the 20. 60-yard punt. But again, we'll come to the 20, and K-State will get to the football for the first time at half number 2 when we come back. Both teams trying to go to 4-1 on the season and 2-0 in conference play with a win here today. 3-point lead for K-State. Texas Tech head coach Joey McGuire talked with Shane at the half. What was on his mind?
Well, Mark, all things considered, he was pretty happy. He said at the half, the message was, keep fighting. We've been here before, trying to get Donovan Smith into a little bit better rhythm. Really applauded the defense, holding Kansas State to those 2 field goals. He's got core philosophies. He calls them playing to win. One of those philosophies is win the middle 8. The final 4 minutes of the first half, the first 4 minutes of the second. I'm sure a little bit disappointed with just getting that first down, but we're set up for a dogfight here in Manhattan. Mark?
You got it, Shade. Absolutely. Here's K-State, who didn't have a first down in the second quarter. Hand off to Deuce Vaughn, who only gets a yard or so before he crashes into Krishawn Merriweather.
You know, we saw a week ago Texas Tech kind of take Texas's best shot. Saw some new things offensively. I think probably the same thing in this matchup. Took one on the chin really quick, and then stood back up and has found its footing defensively. And Tim DeRuyter, defensive coordinator, is calling a heck of a game on the defensive side of the football, and the guys are responding for him.
Sling it out, that's Brooks, but he gets immediately wrapped up and thrown out of bounds as that block. Dadrian Taylor Demerson was being blocked on the edge, but right, he just completely.
This is just doing your job, right? He pushes Cade Warner back into the backfield and stays on the outside shoulder. Incredible discipline by him to not be fooled by what his eyes may have told him differently, and he was right there to put them in a very difficult 3rd and long.
K-State 1 of 6 on 3rd down. Martinez avoids the pressure there, rolling to the near side. He is going to just throw it down the sideline. It's caught out of bounds by Knowles. And it's 4th down, and the Texas Tech defense answers right back, and it's a 3-and-out for K-State.
And once again, Tyree Wilson, defensive edge rusher for the Red Raiders, gets to the quarterback, moves him off this spot, makes him roll out, and his wide receivers are having a really tough time of getting some separation, and he had to throw it away, and once again they go without a first down on another series.
Price back to receive the punt. There was contact No flag, and a very upset Ty Zentner. Now a flag comes out late. Two come very late.
You might be getting a flag for a little unsportsmanlike too.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Because that flag didn't come out until he had kind of given the official a little.
I don't know if there was anything verbally, but his body language was certainly demonstrative towards what he perceived as a non-call. Well, you know what? Maybe his histrionics worked.
The big thing here for me, it's watch his land
Running to the
leg.
kicker. I'm ready to. Return team. That penalty is declined. First down.
See,
Texas Tech.
the land leg is a huge part of them determining whether or not it's a roughing the kicker or a running into, and that very well could be considered. You know, he came very close. He hits his head on his kicking leg first, and that ultimately kind of may have rolled him into it. So lucky for Texas Tech there to get away with just a running into. That could have given this Kansas State team a little new life.
Yeah, the roughing the kicker call would have given them a first down, and the drive continues. As it is, they liked the punt, the distance that they got there from Zentner, and they declined the penalty. So Tech begins at their own 33-yard line. Here comes the pressure off the edge. Smith has to step up and run. Breaks one tackle, gets spun around and spun down at the 37-yard line by Julius Brents, number 23.
I don't know if Donovan Smith saw that blitz coming from the left, but he immediately knew he had man coverage all the way, and if he could break that first level of defense, he was going to be off to the races. And good eyes for him to get a positive play on that blitz on first down.
Going to throw into the boundary there, the flat, and it's caught by Price. He's going to have a first down as he's tackled at the 46-yard line by Austin Moore. That'll move the chains.
Speaking of eyes, run pass option there. He keeps his eyes firmly to the right side of the field at the top of your screen. Watches the linebacker. He gets sucked in just a little bit, throws it right behind him on that quick out.
But we see Smith making better decisions than he did early in the game.
Yeah, it was inexplicable what that first quarter was with Donovan Smith.
Gonna run, finds a crease. Avoided the umpire, but not the eventual tackle. It's enough for a first down at the 43 of K-State.
That's where you got to use the official in this spot as an extra blocker here and kind of use him as a screener. Pop it to the right. He could have used that official right in the middle of the field, but he gets a first down, really using his feet well. I feel like there's more command to him, that he's committed to what they're trying to accomplish. Completely night and day from what we saw in the first quarter of this football game.
And a flinch by the left guard. Movement by Weston Wright.
False start, number 75. Offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Actually, that's the backup left guard, Jacoby Jackson, in there, who moved early.
You know, especially on the road sometimes as a quarterback, you know, when you're running an offense where you use the clap, you know, the sound of the clap back there, there's so many of those noises that could be going on the road that can make it very difficult for the O-lineman.
Wide open. Cleveland, first down inside the 30 of the Wildcats. And the first catch of the game for Trey Cleveland. Right back to the line. The hurry-up offense continues. They sling it out. Sparkman up to the 20-yard line. And with tempo, actually, Price is down, and he was blocking on that play.
Timeout on the field for an injured offensive player.
7-yard gain on the catch by Sparkman, but Miles Price, who really is the guy that leads that wide receiving core for Texas Tech with his performance and his leadership, being attended to. But Smith has Tech moving down the field again. Miles Price walking gingerly. It looked like the left ankle got rolled up on. Let's see, he was blocking on the catch by Sparkman. We're going to look at it here. See number 1, and then that left foot, that left ankle right there.
Not only does the ankle look like it rolls, but that, the left side of that knee looks like it bent into, that could play a part in that when you get much. A lot of times when you're blocking, this usually happens to offensive linemen. You get kind of rolled up in those situations. Guy coming out of your sight line and into your knees.
So out of that injury timeout, it's 2nd down and 3 for Tech at the 21 at K-State. Smith going for the tight end teeter towards the end zone. He got a hand on it. Also looked like he may have stepped or been escorted out of bounds and then came back in play. I'm not sure that it would have counted even had he made the catch. It's close.
Well, if he gets pushed out, which it looks like he did, they may have allowed that to play. Didn't look like he ran out of bounds on his own fruition. So
it's 3rd down and 3. Smith, time running out, goes to the end zone for Sparkman and overshoots him, incomplete. Decision time here. I know it's 4th and 3, but Wolf has shown not only last week, but in this game as he hit a long field goal to 51 yards right near the end of the first half, has a chance to tie the game here.
The way their defense is playing, I think Joey McGuire, taking into consideration everything. This may be one of those cases right here where the magic number was given to him and he made a bit of a personal choice. Going to attempt a 3 to tie this ball game up.
39 yards off the right hash. Gets it away. It's got plenty of leg, and it is up, and this game is tied. It's good from 39. Trey Wolf, and it's 13 all. Hey, Big 12 Hoop fans, the 2022-2023 season will be here before you know it. You can sign up now at espnplus.com/Big12now to be able to see more than 250 men's and women's basketball games, as well as several other Olympic sports and select conference championship events. espnplus.com/Big12now. 13-0 K-State at the end of the first quarter, Ryan. Since then, K-State does not have a first down. Texas Tech has 13. They've come back and tied the game at 13.
It's amazing what when you scheme an offense, especially when you prepare for and you script a top 10, a top 15, how well that goes. How good are you? How good are you making shifts, making changes, making adjustments? And clearly, Colin Klein, this offense has become stagnant, and you hope they had a similar kind of script coming out in the second half, and it hasn't seemed to look like that's been the case.
Well, first 3 possessions for K-State, it looked like Martinez and K-State were picking up right where they left off from Norman last Saturday. It hasn't been that way since. This is returnable from the 3 for Malik Knowles to the 20. And spun down at the 23-yard line. 20-yard return for Knowles. Let's take a look at our quarterback comparison, and really the numbers for Smith. He's just been a different quarterback after the first handful of possessions they had in this game. He's been really good since then.
He has, and I think the running game of Brooks and Thompson really allowed him to get his feet back underneath him. And Adrian Martinez, he needs to get running the football again, get a couple hits, get back lathered up, and get into this game. And if I'm him, I'm looking for Cade Warner. I think he's a very reliable guy he can find on the outside on the perimeter, what keeps you out of some trouble. That's where I'd be looking now here in the second half.
Give it to Deuce Vaughn, and he can do some magic of his own. He's off to the races, down the sideline, still in bounds, getting a block. 15-10, brought down inside the 10-yard line. And just when K-State desperately needed something positive from their offense, they get it from Vaughn.
Yeah, and if that isn't a recipe for success here at Kansas State, it's giving it to number 22. And he hesitates just a little bit in the hole and then absolutely takes off to set him up first and goal.
69-yard run. He gets the ball again and carries it to about the 5, and a late flag comes flying in.
Holding, number 54, offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
Second one today on the right guard, Hadley Panzer.
It's just backbreakers when you have big explosive plays like that and have penalties that really put you, behind the sticks here. Now they got to start from the 20-yard line essentially with 3 downs to try to get into the end zone.
Giddens in the game. They fake the handoff to him. Juggle Brooks. Oh, touchdown. Off his hands, stayed with it, caught it, avoided a defender, and gets into the end zone. And K-State
on the field, a touchdown.
Gets a responding score to retake the lead.
The RPO is pretty similar to what they threw for a touchdown against Oklahoma a week ago. He puts that on him in a hurry. Phillip Brooks is able to find the football after it tips off his hands. Luckily, no one else was there because of the man coverage, and he's able to stroll into the end zone. Great response by this offense.
18-yard touchdown catch for Phillip Brooks, his first touchdown catch of the season. And K-State has a 2-play drive that results in a touchdown for the second time today.
RPO, he pulls it back, puts it right on the money. Kansas State leads over Texas Tech.
Well, K-State has 2 touchdown drives in this game, Ryan. They've both been 2-play drives. This was to start the game. Martinez had 2 long runs, 57-yard run followed by an 18-yard run here for a touchdown. So that was 2 plays, touchdown to make it 7-0. And then this last drive. Of course, Deuce's 69-yard run set it up. And then it's Brooks from 18 yards, 2 plays, paid it. And fair catch is going to bring it out to the 25.
When they've been good, they've been extremely explosive. I think that's the best way to put it. And when they haven't had those big plays, they become pretty stagnant. So, you want to see a little more consistency on both of those, right? They'd love to establish, especially if they have the lead here late in the fourth quarter, that 4-minute drill where they just mow teams down when they're going to run the football and chew up a bunch of time.
Well, let's see how Texas Tech responds now after just coming back all the way to tie the game. Pass out to Xavier White, 32-yard line, escorted out of bounds there. Gained 7 on first down, ushered out by Desmond Purnell.
I love this play call. They spread him out, and they really do a good job of making Kansas State run after him. They pick up a great gain on first down, and it's a real simple look, right? You play action one way and come back the other where you have 2 blockers out front, really kind of paving the way for him.
Able to handle a snap that was a little wide, and he fires, and that is on target and caught by White up near midfield, and another first down.
I would have a hard time playing in this era of college football with how much a quarterback's got to do with the football back there, with the run pass, option, eyes, all of the things. They're incredibly good at what they do.
You did some really good things at quarterback, too. Don't sell yourself short.
It's a different era. And they put a lot on his plate, right? I mean, Coach talked about it. They give him 2 or 3 options at the line of scrimmage, depending on what the numbers are, and then he has to execute it. And so far, since that first quarter, he's done a really good job at it.
Thompson motions out, empty backfield. On second down, he fires another strike. First catch of the game for Fungi, Loic Fungi. Brought down by Josh Hayes. First down again for Tech, a gain of 11.
Sounds like a Lord of the Rings character right there. I love it.
Fungi?
Yeah.
Midland Lee High School. And there is White. Drags a couple of defenders inside the 20 down to the 16-yard line. Purnell and Cheatham bring him down.
That's imitating success right there. That's the same play Texas used against them in the first half last week to get a big score. They do the same this week. They say, hey, it worked against us. Let's put it in our game plan. And sure enough, really opportunistic there. Get them inside the red zone.
K-State got a chance to sub there, and they brought out 4 or 5 players off the bench. Smith hands off, and immediately Thompson wrapped up for just a gain of a couple by Khalid Duke, who's been a really busy force in one of those linebacker spots today.
Watch for that same type of look, same type of play from Texas Tech there. But watch Donovan Smith read that end of the line of scrimmage, who's really been crashing. He may pull it and get out on the perimeter here on the play or two. They're lined up in a similar formation right here.
Fungi in motion. Smith looking with time, throws towards the end zone and out of reach, and there is a flag in the end zone. The intended receiver was the tight end, Mason Tharp.
It's going to be holding on the back end on the defense, set up an automatic first down.
Holding, number 7, defense. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
With the safety, TJ Smith, on that hold you were referring to.
And when you're running across the field, especially in the end zone, you start to panic a little bit. It probably wasn't needed, as you see Donovan Smith when he vacates the pocket. His eyes never necessarily go back. Good call by the officials.
First and goal from the 7 in movement. And the pre-snap penalty.
72, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Right guard Landon Peterson cost him 5 yards. That's going to back him up to the 12.
Yeah, like I said a little bit earlier too, you know, when you run that type of offense where you use the clapping motion to snap the football in a stadium like this, and it's going crazy right now. I mean, there could be people are clapping all over the place.
The players can't imitate the clap; they're not supposed to. But fans are fans. K-State's got great ones here. Fire all alone at the 2 and into the end zone. Touchdown, Xavier White. So after the 2-play touchdown drive for K-State, Texas Tech marches right back and are an extra point away from tying the game with just over 3 minutes left in the third.
Incredible response here. Watch the run pass option. He looks and sees that linebacker vacate and puts the ball right on the money to White, who turns and gets into the end zone.
First touchdown catch of the year for the senior from Lubbock, Xavier White. Wolves extra point out of the hold of McNamara is up and good, and the Red Raiders tie the game at 20.
You know, ever since the decision by Texas and Oklahoma to leave the Big 12, I just feel like for whatever reason there was a shadow that ruled over him. Here's an example of White just finding that hole. Did you see how when they run that run pass option, how he gets a linebacker just to stop? He just stops. He doesn't quite trust his eyes or know what to do in that moment. That allows for White to get there. Going back to my point about Texas and Oklahoma deciding to go, and I think these other teams have been so overshadowed by those two programs for so long in this conference that last year they just kind of said, hey, this is our conference now. They took some ownership in it, and the parity that has sprung from it, I think, is exceptional. We're watching what TCU is doing to Oklahoma today, what Texas Tech did to Texas last week. I mean, this is the type of football in the Big 12 that I think everybody's been looking for, this constant competition every single week. We look at it now, 20-20 almost at the end of the third quarter. Big 12 football is here and here to stay. And you can watch it on Big 12 now on ESPN Plus at any time you want.
That's the beauty of it.
That is the beauty of it. Streamers.
That did not get out in the end zone. It went out before the
Free kick out of
pylon.
bounds. Kicking team will put the ball at the 35-yard line. First down.
I want another look at that one. I don't know about that. I don't know if we're going to have a good angle there, but he's right there. I mean, he's...
But certainly a judgment call. He is right there.
Here we go. Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
So that benefits K-State to start at the 35-yard line.
So frustrating. So frustrating if you're an defensive coordinator, and as a head coach over there, watching your kicker who, that's what you do. You kick it. Don't kick it out of bounds. It's the only place.
Put in the hands of Deuce on first down, and Deuce up to the 49-yard line and runs for 15.
Like his lower center of gravity. Watch this as he breaks through the hole here. Watch him plant his foot and make the defender miss here. Boom. Rolls right around the side. It's a really impressive tackle right there.
Deuce gets.
A lot of people would have been able to make that.
That's the 17th carry for Deuce, who's now up over 130 yards rushing for the day.
You know, when we were speaking with Coach Kleinman yesterday, you know, he talked great. He talked many good things about Adrian Martinez, but I mean, bottom line is like we got 22. Like that's the guy that stirs the drink here. You know.
2:12 to play. Clock running here in the third quarter. Brooks comes in motion. Flea flicker back to Martinez. Wanting to get rid of it. Instead, tried to get it to Sinnott, the tight end, but overshot him. We see one coming out of the gadget play, and they aren't able to execute.
And that's the window dressing that Tim DeRuyter was talking about. Watch here. From the back end, those safeties, you can't see it, but both of them do not move when they see the running back get the football. They knew that a bigger play was going to happen, and they stayed right where they were supposed to. They trusted their eyes, and they were able to squash that play.
So the Cats looking at a 3rd down and 5 from the 46 of Tech. Fake the handoff to Deuce, finds Brooks, had it and lost it. Had he hung on, would have been enough for a 1st down. Pearson had the coverage.
All right, decisions here. Watch the safety as he sits back there. He does not get influence. He never comes out of his back pedal, and that allows him. The corner stays in his 3rd and runs down the wide receiver, never allowing an opportunity for Adrian Martinez to take a big shot down the football field. And when you decide to do something like this and it doesn't work, it puts you behind the sticks a little bit. You get it dropped on 3rd down now, and now Texas Tech has an opportunity to respond.
K-State punts, 4th and 5. Kind of angle towards the corner, and it's going to take a Tech bounce back towards the 25 where it's touched there. That's where it's going to come out to, just a 21-yard punt. Zentner, I know he was trying to angle into that left corner and didn't get enough leg on it, and it took a bad bounce for him back to the 25.
You know, I can't tell you how many times this Texas Tech defense has been put in precarious positions today.
Quite a few.
You know, going forward on 4th down in your own territory. Right there, you kick it out of bounds and give them the ball at the 35, and you get a stop. I mean, they have been really opportunistic when things are stacked against them. Give Tim DeRuyter again a ton of credit on how he's got, and also this, right? Coach told us, he said, defense runs the bus.
It drives the bus now.
Drives the bus here now at Texas Tech.
It's a change in philosophy. It had been the offense running the bus for decades.
Yeah.
Now the defense gets a chance at the wheel, and they've been great today. Tied at 20, late 3rd quarter. Taj will get a hard-in couple of yards.
And we haven't seen him try for a big play down the football field. And you know, I'm starting to watch these safeties kind of creep down. Drake Cheatham right there, big on the tackle. He was inside the box. They're all within about 8 yards of the line of scrimmage. Might take a shot down the field here at the bottom of the screen.
Smith pulls it. He's thrown. He's taking a shot. One hand grab. It's caught by Cleveland. Flag down, and he keeps dragging the defender, Boydo, all the way inside the 20 down to the 15. What a catch and what a play by Trey Cleveland.
Yeah, as a quarterback, your eyes just get huge.
Number 25, defense, that penalty is declined. 1st down as a result of the play.
Your eyes get huge when you have that space down there. Great job of him, and then laying it out there on his furthest outside shoulder. I mean, that's the only place you can put it, and what a grab, one-handed, with him dragging him down with the other.
I mean, Boydo has his right arm totally wrapped up, so there's no question about the penalty. But what a one-arm catch by Cleveland, and then to continue down the field all the way to the 15.
I love that he saw it, right? Because when you're up here in the booth and you can see those types of things easily, but out on the football field, it's much more difficult. And Love that he saw that to make that big play.
White to the edge, but Fungi was unable to block Julius Brents in a loss of 2.
There's another look at the catch. His right arm's just being grabbed, and his left mitt reaches out. He uses it to pull it into his body, and when he gets both hands back, he corrals it, and then keeps on dragging the defender for more yardage to make it even a bigger play.
That went for 58 yards after the loss of 2 on the last snap, 2nd and 12, getting down to the final seconds of this third quarter. Here comes some pressure. He's in trouble, and he's sacked. Back at the 24, a flag down as well. Khalid Duke in the tackle for loss.
It's his 3rd sack of the game. He's been all over the football field defensively.
Holding, number 76. Offense, that penalty is declined. 3rd down.
And 3rd sack for Duke for 4 total sacks for the K-State defense. He's got 3 of the 4 sacks.
Yeah, you talked about it too. He hadn't had a sack all year, and then today he said,
This is
I'm about to get
the
mine.
end. 3rd quarter.
And that's the end of the 3rd quarter. What do we have in store in the 4th, Ryan Lee? Intriguing. One of these teams is going to be 2-0 in conference play at the end of the day. Which one will it be? 4th quarter, straight ahead. Well, the calendar flipped to October overnight. We're getting some October football on the first day of the month in Manhattan. Start of the 4th quarter. Texas Tech, K-State tied up. You look at the total yards by quarter. Tech got off to a terrible start offensively. Their defense kept them in the game. And here we head into the 4th quarter. Both of these teams trying to go to 4-1 overall and 2-0 in conference play.
Take a look at the top of your screen here. 1-on-1 slant.
3rd and 19, pressure trying to get that slant. It was short, incomplete. Cleveland tried to sell the catch, but it came off the
Rolling on the
bounce.
field is an incomplete pass. 4th down.
As a quarterback, just vacate that play fake. Don't even attempt to play fake that there. You know you got man coverage. Just catch the ball, stand right up. You don't need to do that play fake there. You know, it allows the running back to go get it. Instead, now he's late getting the ball to a guy who was going to be wide open on that slant.
That snapped a string of 8 consecutive completions for Smith. Now Wolf comes on. He's already hit from 39 and 51 today. This is a 42-yard attempt that is up, and it is wide left. No good. And it stays tied at 20.
For whatever reason, Wolf during pregame warm-ups as I was down there, going this direction, was left. You know, I know how that feels. I snap hook a lot of golf swings. I know how that feels, but that's exactly where he was missing in the pregame warm-ups as well.
Well, the wind is blowing from the southeast, and if you're trying to adjust from a southeast wind, it would be pushed from left to right. I don't know if he's trying to compensate for that, but like you said, it's been going on in the pregame drills as well for him.
Yeah,
to this side of the field.
Once you have kind of a visualization too, like anybody who's visual, when they're watching something continue to happen, you know, you're in that situation. As a coach, you watch that in pregame warm-ups and you adjust accordingly.
Adrian Martinez, by the way, has not had a positive rushing attempt since the 1st quarter. He's going to hand it off to Deuce. He doesn't get much there, maybe about a yard or so.
You know, I would have to take a look at the film to see exactly how Tim DeRuyter is finding a way to hem up Adrian Martinez after those big early carries. What's ultimately happened is Deuce Vaughn's gotten loose, right? He's got over almost 150 yards rushing. I just got to commend them and how they've stayed disciplined in stopping this running attack, especially from Adrian Martinez ever since that 1st quarter.
Four-man rush. Martinez throws, and he hits his man at the 31-yard line. That's the tight end, Ben Sinnott. Will leave him about 3 yards short of the 1st down. So tied at 20. You look at the season averages for K-State coming in, what they've done so far today. 3rd down conversion way down. They're 1 of 8 on 3rd down. Just 13%. Can they convert here? There's the first positive rushing yards since the 1st quarter for Martinez, and Adrian is gone. Well, moments after Texas Tech missed a field goal that would have given them their first lead of the game, Adrian runs for 69, and it's K-State back in front early in the fourth.
Just 1 second before complimenting how well Texas Tech had found a way to hem in Adrian Martinez. He explodes for a huge touchdown to give the Wildcats a lead.
Tennett's extra point, and he able to get that in the right upright. Well, the last 30 seconds off the clock, Ryan, big. Tech misses a field goal, and there goes Adrian.
You put him one-on-one on the safety. He splits him down the middle. The Wildcats take a 7-point lead into the fourth quarter.
Adrian Martinez, 69-yard touchdown run. K-State has the lead back here early in the fourth quarter from Manhattan. His longest pass play of this game has been 18 yards. His longest pass play of the season is still a 28-yard pass he completed to Phillip Brooks in the Missouri game in the first quarter. That was game 2 of the season. It's into the, oh wow. Now K-State returns the favor in the same corner of the end zone.
Put the ball at the 35-yard line, first down.
Well, it's kind of like you gave us one, but here you go. Right back. Let's go back to this touchdown, though.
All right, this is just a straight quarterback lead. Watch the guard pull around, get the linebacker right there, and then the safety takes a poor angle, which allows him to split those two safeties. Deuce Vaughn helps out his brother as they travel down the field together for the big touchdown. They have been so explosive in their scoring plays today. Outside of those big plays, they've been a little inconsistent. So, I mean, you can't fault them for what they've been able to accomplish. They have the lead late into this fourth quarter.
Great block by Hadley Panzer, number 54. To help spring him on that touchdown run. Thompson still in the backfield. Flag comes down in the backfield. And Thompson's only able to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Holding, number 75, offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
Left guard Jacoby Jackson whistled for the hold.
So Roderick Thompson's been so good at those jump cuts, and you know when you do that, just like a quarterback when he leaves the pocket, those offensive linemen who are engaged are holding on to that defensive player, and when he gets outside and he takes off to run, and that hold is very, very evident for the official to make that call.
Puts the Red Raiders behind the chains at 1st and 20. Back at their 25. Smith spinning around on the run. He's going to throw it towards the sideline and the tight end cup, but it's incomplete. And Sir Roderick Thompson, running back for Tech.
Time out on the field.
Slow getting up.
Offensive player.
Well, the running back spot for Texas Tech, they thought they were getting Cameron Valdez back, who injured a knee in fall camp and had a great week of practice this week. Then he strained a hamstring a few days ago. So they've been using just the two backs, Thompson and Brooks.
Watch here, he does a great job of picking up the block, but as he goes down, it looks like he may have gotten his right leg just a little extended, but I mean, if you're Donovan Smith, you got to give him a bunch of credit for helping him out there.
Thompson coming off, but
you'd love that as a quarterback, to watch your guys back there go and pick up blitzes like that.
So with Valdez not able to play, really the third back is Bryson Donnell. He has not appeared in the game as of yet. It's been just the two-headed monster of Thompson and Brooks. Look at the Tech offensive averages season compared to today so far.
Well, things get condensed when you get into conference play. It just does. You know each other better. You have executed before against them, and that brings those scores down a bit.
They fake the jet sweep to Martinez, throw it back to the near side, Xavier White. And he gains about 5 up to the 30. defended there by Felix and EGK Uzama.
Yeah, great point. It was a great play call on Texas Tech part, but Kansas State responds. Those defensive linemen get out of their stances and get out and make a tackle on the perimeter. You love the hustle from the Wildcat defensive front.
Tech last week against Texas, 7 of 20 on third down. Today is 2 of 10. Smith fires across. It's going to be short of the first down by about 5 yards, but the grab is made by White with the defender Nick Allen right on his hip.
They're going. Magic number was under 5. We know that.
And from their own 40, with 12 minutes to play, in the fourth, they go for it.
What goes into this in the algorithm? If they kick the ball away, will they get it back? That's a big conversation piece of making this decision to go for it on fourth down.
Smith dropped at midfield. Off the hands of Sparkman. It would have been enough for the first down. Well, the throw was there.
Yeah, Boydo, who got beat and got that penalty down the side of the field, he does a tremendous job here. Watch us get his hands right in there as the ball comes into the wide receiver. Great defense, great technique, knocking the ball away, and once again, Texas Tech's defense is asked to come out and make a huge stop to get their offense the ball back.
You made an interesting point even before the fourth down try there. We spoke specifically with Joey McGuire yesterday, and he mentioned, yeah, okay, the number is this, this, and this, but it changes in the fourth quarter. And the fact that we're just a few minutes into the fourth quarter changed the whole dynamic, what you mentioned, the feeling like, will we get the ball back?
Will we have another possession? Will we have a third if they score?
The Wildcats take over at the 40-yard line of Texas Tech. Warner motions, handoff, Deuce Vaughn. Grab there. Rashawn Merriweather, gain of 4. Merriweather a little slow getting up.
Well, he's been all over the field for this defense. He's been the captain in the middle of that defense, making big tackles. A little slow to get off the field here, but he's been really impressive this year at the middle of the field for the Red Raiders.
No doubt. St. Louis native from Hazelwood West High School. Deuce, by the way, 19 carries, 142 yards. It's kept by Martinez. He's got blocking from the tight end Sinnott and Wheeler. And we'll have a first down near the 20. 15-yard ramble for Adrian Martinez.
Great ball fight here. Gets the defensive end to crash. He keeps it, and then it's one-on-one with the safety to get there, and he is too slow before he can pick up the first down.
Henry has 8 rush attempts for 150 yards and the 2 touchdowns.
Helps with a 57 and a 69 attack down there, right?
It does. There's 4 rushing touchdowns for him last week in the win over OU. Lots of time. Now that time running out for Martinez. Fires high, Sinnott off his hands, incomplete. He threw a heater, man. That was a fastball right along the boundary. Incomplete.
Love how he bought time there. We would have liked to see this pass, of course, be completed. You're asking a lot from that H-back tight end and Sinnott there.
Who had a great game against Oklahoma. Some big catches, a couple early in the game on the first drive. Sinnott had a career-high 27-yard catch in that game as well. And 80 yards receiving last week for a career high. Martinez, design run again, slipped but kept his feet. Just patiently picks up 5 yards. But the K-State player down.
Offensive player.
Left tackle KT Leviston. With the injury timeout, we step aside with just over 10 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Well, the fifth-year senior KT Leviston apparently looked like he got poked in the eye. by Miles Cole, the nose tackle, number 5. You're watching on the left side of the screen. Cole's right hand.
Yeah, it looks like that thumb, that big thumb on that mitt, just looks like it gouges the eye. Leviston, hopefully he'll be all right.
But a huge play here, 3rd and 5. K-State 2-9 on 3rd down today. In fact, their average to go on 3rd down has been slightly over 10 yards. Half that here, 3rd and 5 from the 15. Martinez wants to take it himself, but he'll only get a yard, yard and a half. Field goal here, make it a 2-score game.
Well, second thought here. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I was watching what you were watching on the sideline, right? The special teams was coming out and to kick the field goal, and for a moment they looked back at the sideline. Are we doing this?
A little hesitation there on the sideline. Coach Kleiman says, yeah, 10 points, two scores. I don't know if they're going to have enough possessions. They're going to have to score the 2 times they have the ball then, most likely, in this game.
4th and 4 from the 15. Going for a 32-yard field goal to make this a 2-possession game. Slicing right, but he got it in that right upright. Good for Chris Tennant. So he hits from 32, and K-State has scored the last 10 points of this game, and they're up 10 with 9:07 to play.
Good stop by Texas Tech to hold them to, once again, right? Once again, the offense puts them in a difficult position in their own territory after a 4th down turnover, and they are able to get a stop and hold them to a field goal, which keeps them in the game. I think a touchdown probably makes this a win for Kansas State. Now they have an opportunity to respond.
How about what's going on in Fort Worth today? OU trying to rebound after getting beat by K-State.
That was my upset of the week this week.
Was TCU beating?
Yeah.
Well, it's looking good right now, 48-17. Big games coming up later, including down I-70 in Lawrence, Iowa State and Kansas on ESPN2, and Oklahoma State and Baylor. Oklahoma State awaits Texas Tech next, which means, and regardless win or lose, Oklahoma State's going to be ranked next week, meaning that Texas Tech will have played 5 consecutive AP top 25 teams. To the 25. Hey, you don't have to wait for the weekend for your Big 12 football fix. Introducing the Big 12 Football Weekly Show. It's presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky, featuring highlights, breakdowns, and special guests. If you're a Big 12 football fan, you can't miss the hour-long show, available at 7 Central every Wednesday throughout the season, only on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. Happy to have you with us on Big 12 Now on ESPN+ on this Saturday. Mark Neely along with Shane Sparks. Washington State Hall of Fame quarterback Ryan Leaf. It's been a fun game, Ryan, and it ain't over yet.
No, we'll see how Donovan Smith and this Texas Tech Red Raider team respond.
Smith on 1st down, flushed out. It's hit from behind. He rushes for close to 5 yards. He pops up, but it's the K-State defender that's still down, Eli Huggins.
A little friendly fire here as he slides down. The safety kind of comes over the top and hits Huggins right in the head.
Well, winning Texas Tech against K-State has been very difficult. They have not won here or beating K-State since Patrick Mahomes. But in 2008, they won here in Manhattan. That's the last time Graham Harrell was the quarterback. They won here in Manhattan. And the last time they beat them, period, was in Lubbock. And yes, that's Patrick Mahomes, who was the quarterback. That's the last time they beat K-State. K-State's won the last 6 meetings in a row, 10 of the last 11. And again, they haven't beaten K-State in 7 years, since 2015 with Mahomes, who was 33 of 42, 384 yards, 3 TDs, and a rushing touchdown in that win. They've had some guys that can sling it.
Yeah, I know what it's like to play in that air raid offense, and it is.
Oh, yeah.
It is some fun stuff. That ball gets slung all over the field. And those are 3 of the best that have ran it under Mike Leach as well as Cliff Kingsbury.
So if they're to end that 6-game losing streak, it's going to take a rally here in Manhattan. And Smith is sacked back at the 27-yard line. Felix Anudike Uzama, and he turned it over.
Recovered by Kansas State. First down.
Hintz recovers it. Robert Hintz.
I mean, it's absolutely inexplicable. I talked about having 2 games up and 2 games down. He's had 2 quarters up and 2 quarters down. You have to be more aware of your surroundings. There was no attention to detail there. He gets the ball stripped, and essentially that puts this game away. I don't see how you come back from that.
Makes it extremely difficult.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating.
Especially if K-State puts more points on the board here.
Definitely. It's just frustrating to watch. Of course, there was no sense of urgency there. And he's been that way in multiple times in this game. First quarter, particularly now here in the crunch time in the 4th.
On motioned out. Martinez looking. He's going to throw to Deuce at the 16-yard line. From his knees, makes the catch near the marker. First down.
Pulling on the field as a catch. First down.
This is a great job by Deuce Vaughn, right? Finding a place to sit down, and Martinez sticking with him. What a great catch, getting that right knee or left knee in bounds.
You got 2 knees in.
It was pretty low to the ground. It probably wasn't as hard as I thought it would have been.
First catch of the game. Gives him a first down from the 16.
That's going to give him a real shot at the next level. His ability to stay on the field all 3 downs, catch the ball out of the backfield.
The ruling on the field is a catch for first down. Previous play. It's on the further review.
We'll take a look at what we saw. I didn't see any indication from what looked to be the best angle that we have that he was out of bounds in any capacity.
Yeah. The times here where you look at the play, I mean, it looked pretty clear to me. Maybe they're looking to see if the ball juggled a little bit. I don't see where. Does it move when it gets down? It doesn't look like it.
Not at all.
Secured really well.
That's a 100% catch.
They're just seeing as his knee went down at that foot.
From that angle,
it moves a little bit.
No, the bottom of the ball might have hit the ground, but I didn't see movement. Well, let me hit you more about Deuce's pro career, which I mean he's going to have. Obviously, this guy's got NFL talent. We take another look. We've seen his pass pro. I mean, he's not a big guy, but he gives it all in pass protection. I know that's kind of an understated thing if you're a running back in the NFL.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
All right, it says stands.
I kind of have a comparison to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That's Clyde Edwards-Helaire from LSU during that national championship run, of course, with the Kansas City Chiefs now. I think they're very similar. You can ask Clyde to stay on the field for all 3 downs. He can catch the ball out of the backfield clearly. Deuce Vaughn reminds me a ton of that, especially coming out this year. He's a special player for this Wildcat team.
Of course, a lot of K-State fans like to make the Darren Sproles comparison, which, Darren Sproles had an outstanding career, long career.
Yeah, that you don't want to get too hyperbolic with that. Sproles was a
star.
Was a unique unicorn.
Yeah. Martinez runs to the 13. Meanwhile, eating some clock with under 7.5 minutes to go.
I wrote this down, and when the coaches talked to us yesterday about Donovan Smith, quarterback has said 2 up and 2 down games, and he cannot, I repeat, from his head coach, he cannot turn the football over today. And of course, that's what's ultimately cost them in this ball game.
3 turnovers today down for Texas Tech. K-State's turned it over 1 time, just their 2nd turnover of the season. Back to Deuce. Well stuffed for just a yard or so. That was Cole there, among others, for Texas Tech to stop him.
Number 6 at the 12.
You know, a week ago, I kind of had the conversation when they decided to score that touchdown to go up 14 rather than maybe take more time off the clock, kick the chip shot, and allow Oklahoma with no time remaining. It doesn't seem to be much urgency here to get 6 points. I think they'll be very happy with the field goal attempt here if they aren't able to convert on third down.
K-State's going to call a timeout.
Timeout. Kansas
Play
State.
clock
First
winding
down.
down.
I'll be able to clock Coach Kleiman there.
30 seconds.
About a 5-1 there. Took off
He
from
can
the
move when he needs to.
Yeah, coach's box to the official there in record time.
Next week, they are at Iowa State. The winner of this game goes to 2-0. Texas Tech, they stay on the road. They go to Stillwater at Oklahoma State. And again, that would be 5 consecutive games against AP top 25 teams. And for Joey McGuire, the only non-top 25 team they played was the FCS team, Murray State, to begin the season.
Yeah, it's been a gauntlet for the new head coach. And going to Stillwater for me is where the top team in the Big 12 conference right now is. Spencer Sanders, you know, playing in his 22nd season, it feels like, is really been special for the Cowboys. And so they head to Baylor today, trying to maybe get a little revenge after that Big 12 title game and how it played out a year ago. But I like Oklahoma State, and what happens today in Lawrence just down the road, I think it's going to go a long ways in whether or not Kansas is a real deal, and I think they are.
Under 6 minutes to go. Martinez running right is a clear lane to the end zone. 12-yard touchdown run for Adrian Martinez, his 3rd TD run of the game.
Great play call here. Colin Klein does a tremendous job, sees he's going to get man coverage across the board, and there is no one. The responsibility for Martinez was locked on the inside, couldn't get through the garbage, and away he goes. Defensive coordinator Tim DeRuyter had to have thought they were going to try to throw the ball there because of the decision to play zero coverage.
17-point lead for K-State. About the day for Martinez. 4 rushing touchdowns last week against OU. He's got 3 so far today against Tech. Ryan, when K-State has scored touchdowns today, they've been quick, explosive drives, and we just saw another one, which was helped by a turnover.
Yeah, I mean, the turnover set them up in a real good position, and then a great play call by Colin Klein there on third down, seeing the defense that Tim DeRuyter, defensive coordinator for Texas Tech, was presenting. Straight zero coverage. The guy that was responsible for Adrian Martinez couldn't get out of the garbage, and he walks into the end zone to essentially put this one to bed.
Shane, how about that two-headed beast for K-State running the football with the quarterback Martinez and Deuce? That's quite a combination.
It is, Mark, and a lot of times you hear of thunder and lightning, but in Kansas State's case, it's lightning and lightning. Those two combined, Martinez and Vaughn last week, 264. This week they've combined for 314. And Ryan, you bring up a really good point as far as offensive coordinator Colin Klein. I'm not exactly sure they wanted to run him this much a couple weeks back, but now it's take what the defense gives you and use that athleticism. Guys?
And no doubt, Shane. Here's Smith on first down, coming to the sideline, and was he inbounds?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Nice catch by Brady Boyd, his first catch of the game. He got a foot down at the 43.
I mean, Donovan Smith sometimes just looks so smooth. Look at this ball placement. Only place he could have put that ball for that completion to happen.
Boyd got the right foot down for sure. Slung out to the back Brooks. Mark him out at the 44-yard line, pushed out by Gavin Forche. Kansas State has scored 17 unanswered points. Tech got down early 13-0, had to fight back, tied it at 20, had a chance to take their first lead, missed the field goal. It would have put them up 23-20. And K-State has done all the scoring since then. Out to Boyd again on the sideline, this time to the 46.
You make a good point there. There's that line of demarcation in terms of missing that field goal. You go up here on the road, the crowd kind of comes back to earth, and you know, maybe there's some doubt that creeps into the mind of the offensive side of the football for Kansas State. Not so fast, my friends, right? They respond immediately with the big touchdown and haven't looked back since.
We slip under the 5-minute mark in Manhattan. Smith on third down. That's a grab right near the sticks. And that's Fungi, and that's a first down at the 46.
What a great catch. Puts it probably on the wrong shoulder there, but Fungi makes a big grab to move the chains.
Still looking. Smith. There's a flag and a hold in the backfield that's going to cost him. I think they got
holding, number 56.
Yep.
Offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
The center, Dennis Wilburn.
That hold is on Donovan Smith because that ball has to come out. There's a wide open receiver over the middle of the field. He's got to let that go. If that's the case, the hold doesn't bring him back. And now there hasn't seemed to be any sense of urgency in him right now. He looks like he's being rather lethargic in a game that they have to be fast to get back in this football game.
It's caught at midfield. Fungi again. A combination tackle before progress takes it right to midfield. Daniel Green, the middle linebacker, number 22, with the stop. We hit the 4-minute mark. Lots of time with just a 3-man rush. Smith slings it, almost intercepted. It was Austin Moore. Got a hand or two on that, but it's 3rd and long.
Good job by Austin Moore here, right? He hangs on the outside. It's a wonderfully placed football. If he doesn't put it on his left shoulder there, that ball is intercepted for sure. Trying to make a play. Can't fault him for that.
Wide open, first down catch. White inside the 25 to extend the drive for the Red Raiders. 26-yard pickup.
Good play call. You put a lot of pressure on a safety, especially when they're playing that too high look. And the best place to go with the football is either in that hole shot of the sideline or right down the middle.
Quick snap. He looked left, tried to throw right. That's batted down. You know, he had
Incomplete forward pass.
Cleveland wide open in the flat on the left side. Instead, looked away, and that was batted down.
Well, that's where you give that. What that is that fake screen out to the left, and then you come back and hit the void. And if the ball doesn't get knocked down there, it's a big completion, you know. A great job by the defensive line. When you can't get to the quarterback, when it's quick game, get your hands up. Get those big mitts up and knock it down.
Smith, they're all tangled up along the sideline. That was Cleveland, the intended receiver. Echo Boydo, along with Cleveland, they were pretty well wrapped up all the way down the sideline.
Yeah, if you're Cleveland there, you got to get off that. Get off his body because you got one-on-one all by yourself at the top of your screen. Donovan Smith saw it as well and took a chance at it. His wide receiver just was nowhere to be found.
3rd and 10. Under 3.5 minutes to go. Tech down 17. Smith finds the open man. The catch made at the 15-yard line, out of bounds to the 13.
On the field is a completed catch for a first down.
Handoff. Taj. Brooks stood up at the 7-yard line by Kobe Savage.
Red Raider fans out there, you got to love the never give up mentality of this football team. They need to score quickly and, of course, get that onside kick.
Smith looking to the end zone. Now runs right into the rush, gives a stiff arm to Nate Matlack. Elects to throw it to the 5, and out of bounds there is Kobe Savage. Pushed him out after a 4-yard gain. Jordan Brown, his second catch on the drive.
Pulling on the field is a first down.
Great strength here. He uses his left arm to push him away, and then watch his eyes. He finds his receiver right there. And better bow up, kid. You're about to get hit here in the Big 12. Let's go.
First and goal from the 3. Had the big tight end Tharp blocking along with Taj Brooks, and into the end zone goes Smith with a touchdown run of 3 yards. We've seen some good today. We've seen some bad. Here's Smith with a touchdown run.
Yeah, here designed lead quarterback draw or lead quarterback run here. Good enough blocking on the perimeter to get him into the end zone. They'll attempt a 2-point conversion to cut this to a 10-point game. Sorry, to a 9-point game.
Easy to the tight end Tharp.
It's hard to miss that fella.
6'9". 2-point conversion after a 13-play, 75-yard drive in 3.5 minutes to make it a 9-point game. Smith with the rushing touchdown. We'll see an onside kick when we come back. Donovan Smith's 3-yard touchdown run and the 2-point conversion to Tharp made this a 9-point game after a 13-play drive for the Red Raiders. With just 2:23 left, it's still a 2-score game. Onside kick time for Tech.
One of the more exciting plays in college football, but usually pretty anticlimactic.
That one bounced around.
They got it.
Tech has it.
They call it the hands team for a reason. That
Texas Tech recovered the kick legally. 1st and 10. Texas Tech.
Merriweather right there on the spot. He's had a huge football game. Watch this perfectly kicked as it bounds with that second big hop. You gotta catch this football. He looks down thinking he's gonna get hit, and the ball falls off, and Merriweather's right there to pick it up exactly where everybody drew it up. I mean, you know you're most likely going to get hit. And Cade Warner he looks down a little bit, doesn't bring it all the way into his body. And now Texas Tech, with all 3 timeouts and 2:20 left, they have a chance. They're going to have to score again. They're going to need 2 possessions, so they're going to have to be quick with it.
So Trey Wolf's onside kick successful. They begin at their own 46. Smith right back on the field. They're going to bring pressure on 1st down. Smith has a shot. He's got his man, but underthrows him. He comes back and makes the catch at the 28-yard line. Xavier White. 25-yard pickup.
Good job of finding his footing there to come back and make that big play.
Smith trying to thread the needle, and it's picked. Is it? No, they're saying incomplete.
They had blown it dead to review the play. Wow.
The ruling on the field is an interception. Kansas State, 1st down.
Wow. There's a little confusion there.
Well, Texas Tech is now saying, wait a minute, we thought you were blowing this dead to take a look to see if the White catch was a good catch. And Joey McGuire with a piece of his mind, trying to get an explanation.
There looked like a lot of confusion before that ball was snapped.
So let's go back to the catch first for White.
Yeah, that's a catch. The hand's underneath the football, so. For me, where it was spotted, that could have been something too. They spotted it at the 29-yard line.
So here's the play that resulted in an interception.
Yeah, you hear the whistle there.
So there was a whistle before the pass was thrown, correct?
There was. Julius Brents then comes inside playing a great coverage there. Makes a great catch. And yeah, if I'm Joey McGuire here, I'm frustrated too because
somebody whistled the play dead.
And you'd hope there would be an official that would take some responsibility for it. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was a whistle somewhere else and it wasn't an official, but.
Well, Joey McGuire's got every right to be upset right here. From what we hear, and the audio portion of that is the most important piece, and you can definitely hear a whistle before Smith lets go the pass that seems to blow the play dead. But that's not after the completion of the play, which resulted in a turnover and an interception, was called by the officials here. And Joey McGuire, because he's got 3 timeouts left, and that's all he's really got in his back pocket to try to stay in this game, but only 2:01 left. So now they're looking at the interception.
Here's the interception. You can't really see it. It looks like he catches it cleanly, and if it bobbles at all, it's on his stomach when he's lying on his back. So that looks good. I mean, he doesn't catch it cleanly. That ball gets tipped there, bashes into him. Ugh. He's fine. That's an interception.
For Julius Brents.
I would love to hear from Joey McGuire and this officiating crew on whether or not they made the call that it was an inadvertent whistle, which in that case it would have to be rerun, or if that somebody said it was a whistle that came from off the football field.
Martinez gives to Deuce Vaughn. And now Tech's going to have to start using those 3 timeouts.
Texas Tech, first of the half. 30 seconds.
Well, you made up another point which is going to get lost in the wash here. They got a bad spot on the catch. It should have been like on the 25-26 instead of like the 29-yard line.
Yeah.
Which seems immaterial at this moment for Coach McGuire and his team after you definitely hear a whistle during the play before the interception. Kind of like that one, yeah.
Yeah, give a ton of credit to Kansas State. They were very disciplined there, staying in that coverage, right? And you would have liked to see the Texas Tech wide receiver come back to the ball, because if he doesn't allow for that defender to step in there and make that interception. But interesting, especially with where the score is at right now, 37-28, with that call by the officials and subsequent discussion from our friend head coach Joey McGuire.
Vaughn's only going to be about a yard short of the first down.
Timeout, Texas Tech, second of the half,
Tech's
30 seconds.
Only going to have 1 timeout left now after using their second here.
Well, this is the game. Essentially, they have to get a stop, call the timeout, and then get the ball back. They'll need 2 possessions, of course, but at least they'd have a chance. They've been incredibly stagnant up front as a defense, stopping Kansas State when they needed to. Can they get off the field here and give it back to Donovan Smith for one more chance to keep this game going?
Hey, let me bring up one other subject here, Ryan, and that's the quarterback Donovan Smith of Tech. We've seen some really good, we've seen some really bad. He's an outstanding young talent. They play Oklahoma State next week. Then they have an off week. Then West Virginia at home on the 22nd. Tyler Shuck, who was the starter on opening day against Murray State, injured his collarbone, has been throwing. They believe he would be back at least by the West Virginia game.
I mean, there's a conversation. Like, the offensive staff has been hearing the name Tyler Shuck, when's he back? And then that was silenced after that win against Texas. Here we go.
Give it to Vaughn, and he's got the first down and a lot more. He'll slide down, knowing that the game now almost put away. They do have the 1 timeout left, but with 1:41, Kansas State.
Texas Tech, last of the half.
The Tech using their final timeout are going to be able to eat this up and go to 2-0 in conference play. After Deuce now his 23rd carry, 170 rushing yards for Vaughn.
Yeah, incredible effort by everybody on this Kansas State sideline. Offense, defense, special teams, everyone stayed in the football game when they got, in a situation where Texas Tech was able to come back and make this a game. They stayed focused. They stayed with what they had to do. This is a schedule right now with Iowa State. If they are able to find a way to beat Kansas, that's a huge game a week from now. And then TCU, I mean, they're a bit of a monster, it looks like right now under Sonny Dykes. They have to go to Fort Worth. They get both Oklahoma State and Texas at home, at Baylor, at West Virginia, and of course the interstate rivalry matchup against the Jayhawks to end the season. That would be a lot of fun if that game is for a lot of marbles.
It's been a long time since that game has really meant much, the Sunflower Showdown. Because Kansas has been subpar for so many years.
Well, that 9 points, like I said, it's going to be meaningful for a lot of people.
So K-State will improve to 4-1, 2-0 in conference. Red Raiders are going to drop to 3-2, 1-1 in conference play. I know the end's going to be frustrating for Joey McGuire and the Red Raiders. Who knows if they decide that play should have been whistled dead and it not be a turnover and an interception. They still had a lot of work to do to try to come back and pull this off.
Well, but Mark, he threw an interception.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, there's got to be some accountability whenever you're looking at that, and they just didn't make the play. You can't lay it on the officials. I doubt he hesitated in throwing that pass when a whistle was blown, if there was one. So you can't turn it over there. He turned it over all game long, and therefore Texas Tech got beat here on the road.
Really entertaining game, partner. The way Kansas State started, touchdown, field goal, looked like they were going to run away with this game, and then Tech kept chipping away, got it tied, had a chance to maybe take their first lead, missed the field goal, and then K-State runs away, and they win it 37-28 over Texas Tech.
Kansas State gets a big win in the battle between the SEC killers from a week ago. They get the home field advantage. The fan base is incredibly supportive, and I mean, give Texas Tech credit for battling back, but ultimately it just came down to too many mistakes on the offensive side of the football and too many big plays allowed on the defensive side of the football for this Texas Tech team.
Well, Martinez, another big rushing day, 4 rushing touchdowns last week at Oklahoma. He has 3 more today. Deuce Vaughn kept out of the end zone again this week, but you can't discount what he means to this team. That's crazy to think that it's all based on touchdowns and 100-yard rushing games, which he's getting. He's the strong.
Well, he's the one that got them right again. Yeah. Remember in the second half when Adrian Martinez hadn't had a positive rushing yard, they hand it off to him. He goes for that huge gain that sets up the touchdown pass by Martinez next.
So Martinez had 171 rushing yards today. Deuce Vaughn had 170. That's quite a combination there.
That is a incredibly powerful backfield if you are Kansas State fans out there.
Shane has Coach Kleiman.
All right, Coach. It was a dogfight. You guys took some of their best shots. You persevered, some resiliency. What are you most proud of in that second half?
Just the resolve. You know, I challenged the guys at halftime. Somebody's got to step up, make some plays, and rise up when adversity strikes. Adversity was striking in the second quarter. Felix Anudike-Uzama made some big-time plays, and Adrian was Adrian.
Adrian and Deuce in that backfield, lightning and lightning. How awesome is it to coach those two talents?
It's fun because they play the game so hard. They love the game. They're great teammates. They're unselfish, and we're going to enjoy this one.
Congratulations on the win. Good luck in Ames.
Shane, Coach, thank you.
Bring in.
Oh, we're going to get Adrian.
Adrian Martinez. Last couple of weeks, Adrian coaches said they believe in you. Let it rip. Play with some confidence. You've done that. 7 rushing touchdowns in 2 weeks. What's been the difference?
Really, I just say a ton of faith in those guys. I think the boys up front have done a great job getting movement, and defenses have to respect Deuce Vaughn. When you have an All-American running back, I think it helps me run the ball too.
What's this experience been like for you in Manhattan since coming over from Nebraska?
It's a complete family atmosphere. The community here, and just our culture as a program and a team, it's been great for me, and I'm very thankful to be a part of it.
You guys are still getting warmed up offensively as you continue to learn about each other. What gives you the most reason for optimism down the stretch?
Well, absolutely. You know, right now we're sitting at 4-1, and we haven't played close to our best ball. So knowing we can be so much better and still learning from wins rather than losses, I think there's a lot of optimism in that.
Great game today. Good luck against the Cyclones next week.
Thank you.
Adrian, Shane, thanks very much. Adrian articulated well what I did not, and he said, hey, I run so well because I have Deuce Vaughn in the backfield with me.
Well, I think that you implied that, and he made it very, very clear in the way he articulated it. He's very grateful for having this great running back in Deuce Vaughn back there with him as his running mate, and they had a heck of a football game. Huge reason why this team is now 4-1 heading into and 2-0 in Big 12 play.
That's fun. Thanks, Ryan.
Oh, it was so much fun. I love college football. I got excited after that on that onside kick. It's usually anticlimactic. Yeah, I was excited for it. I wanted to see this place finish up. I'll be interested to hear what Joey McGuire has to say and what the official ruling was in terms of what we heard on that audio.
Yeah, very late in the game. So that's going to take care of things from here in Manhattan. 25th ranked Kansas State. Behind the rushing of Martinez and Deuce, they win it in Manhattan. For Ryan Leaf, Shane Sparks, our entire outstanding crew, I'm Mark Neely, saying so long for Manhattan. Again, K-State wins it over Texas Tech, 37-28. And so long for Manhattan.